are live. Alrighty. Welcome back to Subjectively Correct, everybody. Everything currently sucks. Last
Yeah, my
episode.
name's Caleb, by the way.
Oh yeah, I'm R&R with Jake. This is Caleb from the Final Take. If you don't already know us, welcome. If this is your first time, welcome back. If it's not, everything sucks. As you can see from our thumbnail and title, everything is garbage. All movies suck now. Last week we ended on a positive note, so this week we're gonna start on the lowest of lows. Everything is
What
garbage.
positive note did we end on last week?
We said most things sucked, but not everything. That was
Oh,
the
okay,
the
okay.
positive. I mean, it was still
Hey,
semi-negative.
whoa! Everything doesn't suck. Breaking news via Boba Talks. James Gunn says he just finished his 4th draft of Man and Tomorrow. Filming starts in April 2026. We're saved. Another James Gunn movie comes out. Yes!
We're so
Yes!
yeah. You're right. We're back. We're back.
Oh my gosh. Dude.
The gun
this is
doesn't
great-
jam.
Oh my God. The gun doesn't jam, bro, unless you want good stuff.
Unless
then
you
don't wanna
want
jam
good
the
things.
gun down your own throat.
Factual statement.
Yeah, we were like, well, I don't know. We were just starting on like everything sucks, but I was like, oh, you know what? Let me open up Twitter to see if there's been any big announcements to something that maybe won't suck. And then it was just like, no.
Oh, just like another thing that'll be terrible. Yes.
Oh, speaking of things terrible, Amazon paid $20 million for creative control of the James Bond franchise, so Denis Villeneuve, however you say his name, won't have final cut on the upcoming film. So that's great. The next 007 movie will also be ruined.
Awesome.
So that's sick.
Wasn't looking forward to that anyway, so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I assumed it was gonna suck when they removed the guns from the film thumbnails
Mm-hmm.
on Amazon. Like it was like him holding a gun, but now it's just him like
Standing there.
awkwardly standing there like that. So it's like, okay, well,
It's
okay,
like
you're just gonna
he
ruin
kind
it.
of should
That's
have
sick.
a gun. It's like taking
Yeah.
guns out of a Punisher intro.
Yeah, sure, bro.
Nah, James Bond doesn't need guns,
Ooh,
bro.
okay. This is kind of good news. Sinners will be re-released in IMAX 70mm cinema next week for
Oh, tough.
Halloween, so that's cool.
Tough. I might go see
Yeah,
that.
the movie is just pretty decent. Wish I could say anything like better about it. Bro, okay, sorry. I just saw a tweet about The Boys, so I'm not even gonna read that.
Dude, okay, I had the greatest glimpse of my roommate was watching the finale of Gen V, and I just saw the last like 10 minutes, and it was literally the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Season 5 of The Boys is gonna be so bad.
Okay,
It's
I'll
gonna
read
be
this
so
description.
bad, bro.
Eric Kripke, known horrible person, pedophile, most likely pedophile, statistically.
That's a crazy
Statistically
snipe.
speaking. We've seen The Boys. We know. The Boys season 5 takes place where the entire country has drank Homelander's Kool-Aid. It is truly a true underground resistance against a fascist government, which definitely has no comparison or parallel to anything going on anywhere in the world. Which I know that he said that sarcastically because he's a TDS lunatic. He's actually correct. It doesn't have any parallel going on with anything in the real world. Because in case you forgot, Boys season 4 ended with on January 6th. I'm sure that was just a coincidental date. Homelander, who is totally not an allegory for Trump, tried to kill the sitting president, which was ironic because it released about a week after someone tried to shoot Trump in the head. So, kind of fully whiffed on that one there, Mr. Kripke. And to all of you massive The Boys fans, I would not look into Eric Kripke's opinion on the Israeli-Palestine conflict because he will likely disagree with you on that one. He's a Jew, so that's on par with pretty much everything in Hollywood. But it's also pedophile. He's good friends with Epstein. Big Epstein guy.
Well, with that...
What? Are you not shocked that The Boys is the greatest show ever made?
I mean, The Boys is
Okay,
the
bro.
greatest show.
Hey, if you're just not down with mature content, you can go watch Paw Patrol. You can stick with your silly Marvel movies. Your little key jangling cameo Marvel movies, little boy.
Bro, the
We'll
funny
stick to the
thing,
real.
they
We'll stick to the
they
real man
became the
shows.
same thing. There's like 4
We
cameos in
will
the
stick
last
with the
10
real
minutes.
man shows.
There's
Like
literally like
Peacemaker
4
season 2.
cameos in the last 10 minutes of the episode.
We will stay with the real man shows. You can go watch your silly little Daredevil,
Bro,
your
they
silly little
they hit
blind guy show,
they hit a A-Train Starlight key jangle at the end of the episode, bro.
and Gen V.
Yes.
Like, terrible.
They literally
Bro,
they pulled up.
I am
No.
so
They
glad.
pulled up and they go, "You're part of the resistance now." And then it ended.
I am so glad that The Boys season 5 is like the end of that, because then they're gonna try to do all their spinoff stuff and it's gonna fail miserably, and then that universe can finally die.
Wait, you don't want to watch Polarity's dad, the show?
What? Who's Polarity?
He's the actor that died. It's that character, and but they just made his dad like tough again,
Yeah,
basically.
So like kind of lame in season 1.
Dude, Golden Boy was the best character, and they killed him in the first episode.
Who was the best character?
It was probably. I mean,
Main character wasn't. She was massive nothing burger. Honestly, Jordan's all right.
Jordan's honestly one of the more compelling characters, actually.
Yeah, it's a whole trans allegory thing, but like.
It's like more actual substance though, because Marie is just like,
yeah, there's at least a little something going on.
Marie's just like, she killed her parents, whatever.
Yeah, she doesn't develop at all.
Yeah, she doesn't develop is the only problem. It's like she killed her parents, but they show no emotional development.
I don't want to think about that show. But
Golden Boy's brother is like kind of interesting because he's schizophrenic.
I've decided to treat Gen V season 2 like I wish I would have done with Punisher, or not Punisher, with kind of Punisher, but Peacemaker, where it was like, you know what, season 1, although I think I like Peacemaker season 1 more than Gen V season 1, I was like, you know what, I thought it was solid enough. I like it enough. Don't love it, and if I rewatch it, I'll probably hate it, but I don't love it, don't hate it, so I'll just leave it at that. So I wish I had done that with Peacemaker. I couldn't, because we've decided to make it part of the DCU now.
Great decision.
I'm doing it with Gen V, though, so, you know, I'd like season 1 enough. If I rewatched it, I'd probably hate it miserably. But I liked it enough that I'm like, you know what, it's cool, it can stay there. The only thing I remember just adamantly, like, rolling my eyes at, like, I probably rolled them so loudly, was the PewDiePie Nazi line in Big 2023, or whenever season 1 came out. I was like, are we serious?
Like, oh, we're like 12 years
How are
too
we
late.
still pushing this, brother?
Bro, in that time, he's gotten married, had a kid.
There's been like 2
retired.
controversies he's went through since then. It was like that. It's like, how are we still on this one, the Boys writers? Like,
it was just like hey, fellow kids.
How do you do, fella? I am an internet guy. three glasses.
Hello, Mr. Drug Dealer. I am a fellow drug user, not an officer of the law.
It's literally the Inglourious Bastards clip. He's like, how many PewDiePie jokes? 3. I'm a fellow internet man. Oh, yeah. Point being, the fact that The Boys is the only thing that we know or at least the story will be consistent. It'll consistently suck as it comes out.
Yeah, I mean, it started pretty good, and then it's just
don't know. Yeah, I mean, we really don't know. James Gunn has confirmed DC's Arkham Asylum series is well and truly dead, saying, you know, it just didn't work. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. God. And also an Arkham Asylum series, 1000% would have worked better than a Peacemaker series.
Not with James Gunn making it.
Well, I don't think it was James Gunn. I think it might have been a Matt Reeves thing.
Okay, so it actually.
I'm not 100% certain, but I think it might have been. And yes, it would have 1,000,000,000,000% worked better than Peacemaker. There's so much more interesting stuff that you could tell with a whole show about Arkham Asylum, or even about Amadeus Arkham. It wouldn't feel much like a DC, like a comic thing, but you could tell a really weird, like, horror kind of story with that.
Yeah.
Of Amadeus Arkham losing his mind and all that. But, you know, we don't like interesting stuff. We like dog crap, which we will get to, because it's been a fun week. And while everything does suck, there is a trailer that I think might be a banger. The movie might be a banger. It's independent film for the most part. I mean, kind of independent. It's like a bigger independent studio. Jake knows nothing about this. I literally haven't seen the trailer. I just saw that there was a trailer out, and I saw some clips, and it looked like a banger. Angel Studios is making a George Washington biopic.
All right, we're up.
Are you ready? You ready for this?
Yep.
Let's see. This is a first reaction here. It's Angel Studios and I guess Wonder. I don't know who Wonder is, but Angel Studios. They did what have they done recently? They did Sound of Freedom was the big one, which was the movie about child trafficking that for whatever reason they were like booting out of theaters, and it was like they were like, "Don't go see this movie," and it's like, yeah, what? It's what? You don't want us to watch the movie that tells you to keep your kids safe from child traffickers? Okay, interesting. But that was all coming from Hollywood, so it's like, yeah, who's shocked? All right, let's see. Young Washington in theaters July 3rd. First off, before we even start, that's how you release a movie. Oh, it's a movie about George Washington? Cool, we'll do it on July 4th weekend. We'll do it then.
We'll do it live.
Superman should have released on July 4th. Like it shouldn't be that hard, you know? If you're doing a horror movie, you're going to want to release it around Halloween. Like, imagine if the Halloween franchise, right, if they released those movies on Easter. It's like, what? Like, that's how it feels like with how they release movies, like with timing when they come out and stuff. So, all right, let's go. Let's start this.
What happened, Washington? All those bullet holes in your jacket. How are you alive?
I don't know.
I really hope this isn't copyright.
You are a boy. You are not British, yet they send you to speak for them. So that when you fail, they'll have someone to blame.
Young Washington, you lost in the New World.
Andy Serkis tough.
Who does own this land, if not the one who has the will to tame it? You do not want to start a war.
What do we do?
We fight! Hold your ground! There is no retreat!
What are you called?
My name is George Washington.
That's tough.
Must make this the #1.
Nah, okay, wait. That was a banger, bro.
That's tough.
Oh, and it's the 250th, the America's 250th birthday. That's actually
That's cool.
really smart planning.
That's
What a
cool.
good cast, dude. What a
Yeah,
banger
no, that's a
cast for-
really
for an
good
indie
cast,
film.
dude. That looks really good.
So, I wonder how much of it they're gonna go. So that, I mean, young Washington and all of that footage looked very French and Indian War. So not
Yeah.
probably not revolution. It says
Not
the beginning of
revolution.
his revolution. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure when it'll cut
We'll
off.
probably get like a post-credit scene teasing the Revolutionary War. And then in the sequel,
it's just
in
a
the sequel,
post-credit
Medium
scene.
Washington, we'll get a post-credit scene teasing the War of 1812.
No. It's a post credit scene, and it's like just Washington drinking in a bar, and he's like, he just looks over and he's like, "I'll have another one," and then like it's just Samuel Adams sliding him a beer. It's like all the founding fathers revealed, and I'm putting together
a team.
a crew. I'm thinking of putting together a crew.
You
What
son
are we,
of a
some
bitch.
kind of founding fathers?
Absolute
Just
cinema.
George Washington's
Absolute
just in the
cinema.
bar, and like Thomas Jefferson and Ben Franklin walk in. He's like, "I'm here to talk about the Founding Fathers Initiative."
That's how it really happened.
John
folks.
Hancock walks in next. Where do I sign?
That's
Young Washington, if it was directed by James Gunn.
with his ragtag group of soldiers.
Dude, it might be a James Gunn movie.
Bro, it might be. If
gonna
he
have a
has like
pet
a
bald eagle,
pet
bro.
pet bald eagle. This is my pet,
Oh.
Eagly.
I hope that movie's good. I
It
think
looks
it will
pretty
be,
good.
but gosh,
French and Indian War's like an underrated,
Interesting time frame.
interesting war too. Like
I
it
mean,
kind
we
of
really don't have any Revolutionary War movies that are like.
not really, but like
notable.
French and Indian kind of gets glossed over because of the Revolutionary War. I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, it only really applies. I mean, there's parts of it that obviously apply to American history. I'm saying like for a story you'd want to tell around that time frame, it only applies to establish Washington.
Yeah, pretty much. From a storytelling perspective.
Yeah. So like,
That's fair.
I think it'd be interesting. I almost do wish it was more of like a Revolutionary War kind of movie, but I still think that'll be a banger. And who knows? Maybe they'll make a sequel. Maybe we'll get Washington too.
Rise of the flag or
Rise
something.
of the Republic. Rise of the USA. Washington's Revenge.
Washington 3, the first term.
To George, to Washington. It's just they just turned into a new Fast and Furious franchise. What George 4? He's back and he's not. He's back and he can't tell a lie. The Abe Lincoln spinoff movies are gonna be great.
George 5, 1812 Drift. Connecticut Drift.
Abe Lincoln spinoffs are gonna be a banger.
They're gonna be so fire.
Can't wait for the post-credit scene to be revealed, teasing the Trump and Biden debate.
Somewhere in our future.
It's a great movie. You just froze.
Oh.
Completely frozen on my screen. Okay, you're back. It's just the post-credit scene. It's like, now that you watch this incredible movie about how this country was made, this is your future, and it's just Trump and Biden talking about their golf handicaps at the debate.
No!
Yeah. So not everything's bad.
That's true. That looks fire.
Maybe.
It's gonna come out and it's gonna be like he's gonna lose every battle
Directed
somehow.
by James Gunn.
It's gonna
the
be
next trailer's gonna be from the creative mind behind Guardians of the Galaxy and Superman. It's just, no.
Bro, he's gonna win every battle he's supposed to win, and then the last one he's about to get killed, and then his horse will knock whoever he's fighting into a black hole and he'll win.
Yeah. All right. Well, we have our mainstream topic still upcoming here because it's gonna be a fun one. Before this, there is allegations, rumors that supposedly Jake here is making a video.
Yes, no. I'm actually in pre-production. I'm finally broke the seal. We're getting back on the wagon or off the wagon. I don't know, but whatever.
Well, if you're restarting the trip, you'd be getting back on a wagon.
Back on the wagon. So yeah, I'm not gonna
think through that question you just asked me. How stupid that was.
Well, I was saying like when people like sobriety.
I don't know what the actual saying
I don't remember
is,
if they say they're on the wagon or off the wagon because.
Okay, well, sobriety, you'd probably be off the wagon because.
That's what I thought, but also it's like a journey, so you're on the wagon for the journey, but maybe it's a wagon full of.
But you should be
cases
driving.
This. I don't know.
You were driving when you were hammered, and now you're getting off
That's
the
a
wagon
leap.
to sober up.
Yeah.
Drink a little more and hop back.
Or
on the
like
wagon.
you're on the wagon of. I don't know. I don't know what the analogy is or the metaphor, or whatever.
Maybe it's a moonshine wagon. Who knows?
Maybe.
So you said, he said it's so random I won't be able to guess. You said 1994.
Yes, it was a movie released in 1994. Is what I'm doing a retrospective since everything sucks now.
It's not the first Mission Impossible.
Talking about no, I actually forgot that came out in 94.
I don't know if it was 94, but it was around that time.
There was like 96.
Let me look up 1994 movies. It is not the 1992 space movies. All I know.
Yes. We're not gonna say it, but look up what
Well,
the
we literally
1992
can't say
space
it.
movie is.
Are you talking about the next Karate Kid, the one that was the female sequel?
I am not talking about the next Karate Kid.
What about Naked Gun 3? Naked Gun 33 and a half.
No.
I'm assuming it's about Shawshank, right?
No.
It's not about Shawshank. Okay, hold on. Now I thought I saw that was. I was like, that's a slam dunk, but okay. Pulp Fiction?
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction?
Yeah. Have you seen it?
Huh. Okay. I haven't actually seen Pulp Fiction.
It's actually really good. I thought it was gonna be
I did
overhyped,
really
and then I watched it, and I was like, "Shit, that's really good. I like that."
Well, I mean, Tarantino's popular for.
Yeah, Tarantino's a really good director. I mean, he did pull a Tarantino and cast himself to say the N-word 50 times, but
And lick feet.
he didn't lick feet in this one. No feet.
Oh,
No hot
that's
women
'cause
feet
That's
were
because he
licked.
for Margot Robbie yet.
Yeah, he wasn't locked in yet.
Once he started casting Margot Robbie, it was all about licking feet. And
Yeah.
saying it wasn't just.
Hey, you
By the way,
got
our
to.
producer officially uploaded last week's episode.
Yeah,
so
we're
it's fine.
currently in the process of finding a new producer and firing our current one,
Yeah.
because he sucks. But yeah,
Yeah.
last
They both suck.
last. I mean, it was on YouTube already, but it's on Anchor or it's on Spotify, Apple, whatever.
Yeah, podcast.
Yeah, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Yep. All right. I mean, is there anything else? Has anything else big happened before we get into our fun segment we're doing here?
We might think of something else after, but I'm kind of pumped to get into the segment. So.
All right. So recently, I don't even remember when I released it. A week ago, maybe 2 weeks. I can't remember. I released my
about a week,
Peacemaker
week and a
season
half.
2 video. Now there's some comments down there. There's some fun discussions. There's some stupid comments. We're gonna look at most of the comments here. One guy. Now, before I say this, I'm not sure how to preface this. This dude is either rage baiting and trolling, which, based off of a lot of his comments, feels pretty likely. He genuinely has some kind of special needs, which I am gonna feel bad about if that's true, because we are gonna bully him, or he is just a complete imbecile and idiot, which is the most likely option at this point. It's that or trolling. But I think it's a great way to just show off how stupid these blind gun glazers are. The gun gobblers, if you will. The gun bros. These GCU glazers. This guy, let's just say his mom probably had a little too much Tylenol while she was pregnant.
I went and looked at his channel real quick. One of his
There's like
it's like
comments on the video.
It's like he has like 4 videos himself. One of them is GI Robot
yes.
is our Lord and
Yes,
Savior.
I know. I saw it because I was like, "What is going on here?" And it is, yes, I was wondering if he at least had something so I could see his opinion. We will quickly find out. No. There's about 80 comments on the video, and about 60 of them are this guy. Now, in his defense, and I'm glad he did this, he has tried to technically attack my video on the merits of the video, and he doesn't just throw ad hominems. He gets the ad hominems when he just can't tell me I'm wrong about something. About at least, I haven't looked at all of them, so maybe some of them have merit. 80% of them, at least all the ones I've checked, are just not true, which is hilarious. The only way that it makes sense to be someone who is not trolling is that you have to understand they look at it at the concept that Peacemaker was a very good show. That's the only way it makes sense. We will eventually get to the point in the saga where we find out that he thinks that the prequel trilogy is the best Star Wars trilogy with the best dialogue. Having that knowledge will help understand his mark for quality as we go on. I did offer him a chance to actually give me some of his reasonings for some other takes he has, which he has not replied to. Which is funny because he has revisited this video at least twice. And he watched the whole thing, which I'm impressed. Because he seemingly very much hated this video. But he decided to torture himself and sit through all 47 minutes. Which he didn't have to do. But he decided to. So, we'll get into this here. And and I kid you not, it is literally about 50 million comments. I wish he would have just replied them. I very well could delete a bunch of them. So this is the most recent point. Was 44 minutes, and this was yesterday. So we will scroll down here, and we'll get started. So as you can see, this man here,
It was
has
exactly
just
50
lost the
comments.
plot.
50 comments on a YouTube video.
So if we go all the way down, we talked about these last week, the Womp Womps. The comment, this guy here, the comments tell me it's just an autistic man going through his autistic rage. Yes, I am autistic. I have a shirt that clarifies that. Appears you didn't watch the video. And no, unless you were referring to the man commenting, the comments are wrong. Which is funny, because at this point where this guy commented this about me being an autistic man going through an autistic rage, which, is that necessarily wrong? I would say no. I would say that is a pretty decent description of what the video is. All that was commented was womp womp. So I'm not sure how we managed to gauge that much substance from people who definitely didn't watch the video all the way through. First one, a base guy here. He said, you nailed it. This guy apparently shares the same opinions as me when it came to Peacemaker. He was a big fan, or he at least enjoyed season 1. But we're not gonna suffer too long on these. Took you guys to, we got some classic gun haters, or gun realists is probably a better term at this point. We got this guy who's based. His name is Batfan. He said, "Thank you for allowing me to watch Netflix Daredevil." I made sure to I replied to that one. Was like, "Good to see you're a man of culture." So had to show that one some love a bit because he's based. Grown Men, by the way, not sure this one's coming out. This one's funny. I think this is technically the top comment. He said, "Holy shit, a Snyder writer in the wild." Jake, is there anywhere where either of us honestly have even praised a singular Zack Snyder movie?
No.
I think about a quarter of Man of Steel is about the closest I've ever come.
And we've always been like hyper specific about what we like about Snyder, and it's like cinematography and like he has good scores. But there wasn't a single.
That's Hans Zimmer. I don't ever give Snyder credit for the score.
Well, I mean, he picked him, so like I'm saying his movies
Hans Zimmer was willing to work with him.
I'm just saying his movies
The
do.
closest I would give.
His movies do technically have good scores because of Hans Zimmer. But I mean, the cinematography in Man of Steel was amazing, and that's really the only good thing I have to say about the movie. Other than they did a decent job with Jor-El and some of the Kryptons.
There's about a quarter in all of Man of Steel that I think is good. Other than that, I think everything else Zack Snyder's made has been utter dog crap.
Pretty much, yeah.
So I'm not sure how that qualifies me as a Snyder writer, other than the fact that I just think James Gunn at this point is a stupid idiot who can only write one kind of show, and he's getting worse. If that makes me a Snyder writer, then I guess I'm the biggest Zack Snyder fan on planet Earth at this point. Although I would argue Snyder has less body of work that I actually enjoy. I mean, I haven't even seen 300, so I guess I can't. That's like, I know that's his big one. So.
Well, 300. The thing with that is like it couldn't be less historically accurate, but it is pretty fun. Like yeah. They're all just completely, basically just naked the whole time.
Like I think Snyder's Justice League is better than Justice League.
Yes.
So I mean that's like saying I think using a urinal that's clean instead of a urinal that someone decided to take a crap in is better. I don't know. I genuinely don't understand. Like, this is, and I understand why he commented this, because this is a trend that's been notable, whereas if you want to criticize James Gunn's movies that suck, that means you somehow like Snyder's movies that suck. And also James Gunn clearly loves Snyder movies, considering he just decides to canonize them in Peacemaker.
Yeah.
He's a big fan of Batflick, because he's canon, by the way. So is Jared Leto. just want to make sure that's known. Thanks to a pointless line that did not need to be in Peacemaker Season 2, 2016 Suicide Squad happened in the new DCU. This guy's sleeping. This shit so ass. I'm assuming he's talking about Peacemaker. He's probably not. But let's assume he is. Let's assume some people. Let's assume the best in people and assume they have some kind of, brain. Another womp womp. This guy was a little late to the party, though. This one is funny. The finale was bad. Complaining about bird blindness is crazy. That was hilarious. Okay, comedy is subjective. This is a very known thing. I didn't think it was funny. I thought this reply was funny. I don't know if he's criticizing me. I'm pretty sure he's defending me here. The dude doesn't want jokes made for 9-year-olds. Of course, he's the weird one. I'm assuming that's some sarcasm on the second half.
I think so. Sarcasm just doesn't come across.
Yeah, exactly. So it's
Via-
like I can't tell if he's actually saying I'm weird because I don't want comedy for 9-year-olds in the TV MA show that says the F word and has
Orgies.
bisexual orgies in it. Like, not sure. But I'm assuming, like I said, assume the best people. All right, and now we have arrived to the Tylenol American comments here. All right, yo, Iggity Yo 18. That's his name to really show how intelligent this guy is. All right, I won't criticize a guy for a silly nickname. Maybe he made it when he was young. So as you can see, he's left timestamps here. Let's start right off to really give you a quality check on this man with this first comment. When you make good characters, you don't need plot. Plot is a lazy excuse for literally everything. Jake, your thoughts?
This is literally the dumbest sentence ever typed by a human
no,
being.
not yet. Oh, for now, yes.
Well,
This
at
was
the-
his first
at-
comment,
at the
in
time-
chronological order.
At the time of release.
Chronological order, yes.
It's this guy in terms of like intelligence and comments is like Jurassic Park, where it's like every movie they make is
It's
the
just
worst
the
one
worst.
they've ever made. Every statement he makes is like, "Oh my god, I didn't think you could say something dumber than you said before, but you did." But they're saying when you have good characters, you don't need plot. And then not even that, I can almost let that slide. Saying plot is a lazy excuse for literally everything is like, what else is the show?
The funniest part.
The show has to have a plot, or it's literally just people talking in a room. Which is like...
No, that's not true, because people talking in a room often gives you a plot, like Mobland.
That's-
Mobland is basically just people talking in a room.
That's true. It's
They
like
had to
one
be talking
person
about something.
sitting in a room walking in circles.
You know
But
what's
they're
funny,
a good
though?
character.
There's literally a line in my video where I was like, I can often excuse a bad plot if the characters are really compelling.
Mm-hmm.
So, this guy clearly doesn't think stories need story, as we'll get to. So he then says Goofy is not bad.
Which
I never said Goofy was bad. I
yeah.
literally said South Park and Tires are great examples of how to tell a Goofy story.
Those are like the two goofiest stories possible.
Yeah,
But
so I agree. Goofy's not bad. I never said it was bad. Let's start off right here. That 1 minute 55 seconds is a really arrogant and gross assumption.
are
you
we
ready
going
to
through all the
tune in?
timestamps? Are we like locking in? Oh, okay,
We're going in.
I got you.
Because I genuinely want to find one that has merit. I want to get constructive criticism on my video. Like, because I want to make the better video next time.
If we can find
So-
1 out of 50 that has, if we can find 2% of his comments that have merit, I will be happy.
We'll see. Let's see. Let's get into this. All right, ready? 1 minute 55. So this is a gross. It takes forever to scroll back down. Let me so this is
Here,
a
I have it up on mine. If you want to keep the video up, I can read
Okay.
them while you're doing
wouldn't
that.
come 155 is where I'm at. That's a really arrogant and gross assumption. Are you ready?
Yep.
You, a fan, or anybody really, would find in enjoying this show wouldn't come from the writing, the story, or the characters. It would boil down to whether or not you find the humor in this show funny. So that's my arrogant and gross assumption, that you would not find any source of quality in the story, and it would instead come from whether or not you enjoyed the humor in the show. Which I think is not an arrogant and gross assumption. It's actually objectively true because the story sucks.
Saying it's a gross assumption just literally doesn't make sense.
I mean, yes, it's an assumption. It's also, these gun bros can't understand the term of hyperbole. Maybe
Yeah.
there's 12 people, including this guy, who, like, watched Peacemaker and their lives were changed because the story was so impactful in it. Obviously, the infamous Creature Commandos Forgotten title at this point. They were like, don't worry, bro, I remember it. It's not forgotten.
Bro,
And I'm
no.
like, that's great. No one
I
watched
watched it, bro. I remember it happening.
So
That means everyone liked it.
I mean, we probably shouldn't spend too much time on all of these. This one I'm willing to give. First off, brother, this is the intro for a video talking about the whole season. If I had come out in episode 1 and said, no one's going to like this show for the story and it's only going to be whether you like the humor, okay, you might have a point there. I've seen the whole show. It became pretty clear through episode 3 or 4, no one was going to find, like, no one with a brain will find quality in this show for story's sake. Do you have any disagreements with that, Jake? Do you think there's any merit in this comment?
I do not.
All right, since you said you have it pulled up, what is the next timestamp?
344. He just said wrong.
344. I am wrong with what I said. Let's get to it. 339. We'll start here. Tear into the meat of the problems I have with the shows. I'm not gonna do that with this one because the story and the plot is all over the place, as you'll see with my review. Literally true.
Yeah, no, that's factual.
Literally true.
Objectively a fact. The next one's 355. He just says that's a good thing.
Oh, this is when I said, okay, yeah. Schizophrenic. The primary issue Season 2 of Peacemaker has is that it doesn't follow any traditional storytelling methods that you would see in any form of... Okay, there's a lot on this point. This is me discussing the concept of an A plot and a B plot.
Yeah.
Is the next comment talking about that at all?
Yeah, he kind of talks about the same thing for like the next two. He says for that one, he said like it's a good thing that it doesn't follow the traditional storytelling thing, and the next one is just there is no one way to tell a story, which is technically true.
Is there a timestamp on that, or is
405?
Okay, because we'll just watch through this a bit. For that matter, the way you tell a story across. Okay, here we go.
We'll
watch through. We will very carefully watch through this clip because the Peacemaker trailer's in here, and we will get a quote-unquote copyright claim. So, in the first episode of a show, that A plot is going to be across the entire season and is going to be the main driving factor behind what is happening in the story. For example, okay, I'm gonna pause right here because Peacemaker trailer is on screen. So basically, what I go on to say in this part that I have to skim past, thanks HBO, is that Peacemaker Season 1 actually managed, believe it or not, to do this. Is there any show, and maybe, you know what, hold on, there's still more to this clip. Rest of Season 1, each episode brings us one step closer to the ultimate. Again, I'm just Peacemaker shutting down Project Butterfly, describing the A plot and B plot. Okay, and I accidentally probably just played too much of the trailer, and I bet they're gonna have a problem.
The next one was at 5. He just said no.
A B plot in each different okay, on top of an A plot. I'm talking about a B plot, by the way. Being set up. You want to set up a B plot in each different episode.
I guess he doesn't want a B plot in each episode.
You don't want a plot. Okay.
Anti-plot.
There is not one way to tell a story. That's technically true. You can tell a story. The problem's no one's gonna watch it if you don't have anything happen in every episode.
Mm-hmm.
Jacob, can you name one show other than... I can't even think of a show other than Peacemaker. The closest I can get's Invincible that I've even watched, where it's like there is no movement in the plot throughout whole long episodes. Multiple. Because obviously there's the occasional bottle episode. But like, throughout a season where there is multiple episodes that just the plot doesn't happen and there's no B plot in the episode. Can you even think of one?
No. Because if a show does that, I stop watching it. Which is like...
But can you even think of one that
no, like,
doesn't...
Because that's not... Like, if you're going to spend money to make something, you don't do that.
Yeah, you can't tell a story across multiple episodes where nothing I mean, the Disney Marvel stuff kind of does that. The Disney Plus stuff. A little bit. Even they somewhat have a plot that runs throughout everything. Like, I'm not sitting here saying you technically are required to make a show with an A plot and a B plot. But if you want people to watch it, you should.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not technically wrong. And he says there's no one way to tell a story. No, there is one way to tell a story. You have exposition, you have rising action, you have a climax, you have falling action, you have resolution. It doesn't necessarily have to be in that order, and it doesn't have to... And there's no time limit, and there's no certain way you have to do that. But if you want to tell a complete story, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
Like, that's 4th grade English. You learn that. And like I said, you can tell stuff out of order. Tarantino's a good example. You can tell stuff out of order, and
that's one of the things I really like about Pulp Fiction is he does
exactly. That. You don't have to do the exposition.
Like
in the first scene.
The end of the movie is literally like 5 minutes after. Like chronologically, it's like 5 minutes after the opening scene of the movie.
Exactly. So while he would say, I'm giving this commenter way too much credit. There's no way he's seen Pulp Fiction or would even like understand what's good about Pulp Fiction.
He would have stopped
I
watching
haven't seen
after
Pulp
30
Fiction.
seconds.
I haven't seen Pulp Fiction, but he would understand what's good about it if he watched it. He would go, this is a great example of you. Not every story is told in one way. To which I would say, it's literally told in one way. It's just out of order.
Exactly.
That's how you tell a story. Like I'm sorry that that's news to you, but it is. It just is. All right, what's the next?
625. You are hucking fi.
So I'm effing high.
Yeah.
622.
25.
620. All right, what, every time you get stuck instead with this and then concept. This is something that Trey Parker and Matt Stone, the brilliant minds behind South Park, have talked about in the past, where your story is doomed if you look at your outline and your script and then fits between it, because it means nothing is driving the plot further along.
We can take these beats, which are basically the beats of your outline, and if the words "and then" belong between those beats, what should happen between every beat that you've written down is either the word "therefore" or "but." And that's why you get a show that feels like, okay, this to that, to this to that, but this, here's the complication to that. Just like,
What's funny is that clip.
That's not a movie, you know, that's not a story. Like Trey said, it's those two, but because, therefore, that gives you the causation between each beat. In that.
Okay, so we literally don't even need to respond to this because there's your answer. I'm not high. Apparently the creators behind South Park, which is one of the best examples of doing what Peacemaker kind of wants to do, where it has a ridiculous story going on. That's just like, dude, I'm sorry, that's just how you tell a story. I understand there's no one way to tell a story. There just is. Peacemaker doesn't tell a story. Now, in fairness, if you don't need plot, apparently, I guess you don't need this. To which I would argue that the characters are not good enough that somehow they would excuse having a plot.
Excuse
unless
not.
you have any. Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say. So I saw that clip like a couple years ago, like not a couple, like probably 8 months ago, and it literally made all of the projects I worked on significantly better afterwards because I was more intentional with like actually making everything you include in the story matter and like have an effect on future like points in the project. So like the creators of South Park, if they're better at like understanding how to tell a quality story than the head of DC Studios, that's a
There's
nightmare
a comment on my video
situation.
that says that. So I completely disagree with that comment because I think Trey Parker and Matt Stone are like two of the best storytelling minds out there.
Yeah. They're just doing. I think they do lose credit because what they're doing is inherently like goofy and silly and ridiculous.
That's what makes it so impressive.
But being able to do something so ridiculous and so goofy and still have like good storytelling embedded inside, that's very impressive.
Like watch any South Park episode, and they have good and bad episodes, don't get me wrong, but it's like every freaking the concepts in every South Park episode are just ridiculous. Like it's like it's such a stupid concept, but they managed to do it and tell the story in a way. And I literally, there's a reason I said South Park and Tires. Tires is the best version of this in my opinion for like a like dumb-minded person who has never thought remotely deeply about any storytelling. It's like you just gotta slightly pay attention to Tires to become clear. Episode 1, season 2. It's Will, right? He's Will's the main guy. Will, what's Will's goal? What's Will's goal in episode 1, season 2, episode 1?
Will wants to open new stores.
He wants to expand.
And then every episode.
Guess what? Season 2 is now all about expansion. That's an A plot.
Every episode.
What's the B plot in episode 1?
Will is working towards building a new store and doing something else. Shane brought a gun to work.
Hold on.
Boom.
Sorry. 1 second. You just answered the question, but again, it's like so now Will not only has the A plot for the whole show, but now he has a thing he can do in episode 1. He's gonna work towards expanding. That's his goal. Okay, but we don't just want to watch 20 minutes of Will expanding, and we don't really want to watch Shane and Cal work on expanding because they're just the ground level employees basically. So what's the side plot there? Shane brought a gun to work. There. That's literally
an episode.
And then doesn't matter. because Shane brought a gun to work,
this happens.
and because this guy is there, right?
And
Shane brought a gun to work.
because this
But then
asshole's
Cal
at the
points
store.
the gun at the worker. But then Cal points the gun at the customer.
Yeah.
Therefore, the customer is pissed and this and that and right. So I'm saying and then, but like obviously
That's
the
because
point
of
I'm making
that.
is there.
Yeah.
It's because of the effect. It's not Shane brings a gun to work and then a customer gets mad and then Will decides to go buy something and then
The whole point
and
of
then,
the not fitting and then in between, it's not that you can't say and then, because it's like, okay, say I tackle you and then you try to stand up. Technically, you can fit and then in there.
But that's not and then. That's
I know.
therefore
What I'm saying is the point of that is to say that everything should have an effect and a causation. It's not that you can't necessarily say the word and then, because stupid people will take it hyper literally and say it like that. The point is, you shouldn't have a bunch of random unentangled plot points that have nothing to do with each other and
don't mind me, just
don't ever affect each other down the road either. You can't just have like this thing happens and this thing happens and this thing happens, also this thing happens. None of them affect each other. None of them matter at all. Next
and
episode.
I think
that's bad.
You can there's places you can do and then. It just everything can't be and then.
Exactly.
95% of the things need to be but therefore. Because
or at least like it's okay and then this thing happens and later on it's gonna tie in,
but that's a secondary plot then. That's not, this is saying that, right? This is saying the A plot shouldn't just be and then. So Will wants to expand stores and then his dad sells the business, or no, what I guess would be what Will wants to expand stores, therefore he gets a loan and then his dad sells the business. No, it's not that. It's, there's obviously all the stuff in between. What you're saying is, so what actually happened is Will wants to expand the stores in Tires, Season 2. Need to clarify that. Entire Season 2. Will wants to expand the stores. And then Shane brought a gun to work. So now you have two separate plots. So you have your A plot and your B plot. That B plot, because you technically could, but you're not going to get a whole season out of Shane brought a gun to work.
Yeah.
But you could get a full season out of Will wants to expand the stores. So that B plot's going to resolve in the A plot. That's just how you tell a compelling story. Because now, at the end of episode 1, Will be one more step closer to expanding, and the Shane brought a gun to work thing will be resolved.
Exactly. It's
utterly,
totally simple. Oh, I just destroyed whoever's their ears. Hit my mic stand. It's like the simplest possible thing ever, because it's essentially just a full season of it's sketch comedy, but it's all connected into one story in one place. It's literally
that's the reason I cite Tires.
It's literally just longer sketch comedy, but it's still like, in terms of storytelling, like it's objectively pretty good.
That's the reason I go to Tires, because they want to have as much. Their goal when they're making Tires is to put as many funny scenes in as they can. But they know no one really, if they're clicking on a show to watch the show, is just going to want to watch a bunch of funny scenes. If you're watching a sketch show, you can do that.
Yeah.
Even those individual sketches, they'll have to have a plot.
Mm-hmm.
But even like you can look at any of Shane. I know we're talking about Shane Gillis. So like the sleepwalking cop, right? The whole plot is Shane Gillis's cop is he's a sleepwalker and he brings the gun and
OnlyFans dad.
Yeah, exactly. So they have a plot within them still.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the reason I go to Tires, because it's like they want to do as many funny scenes as they can, but they know they have to have a plot. So they set up a plot so that they can get the story stuff out of the way and then worry about the funny scenes.
And
that
then
makes
just
sense.
fill it with funny shit.
Yeah, that one was worth going into detail on, because this clip is a really great clip for anyone
who's
really trying
is.
to tell a story.
Yeah, it's actually very helpful. It's like,
and I think I think Matt and Trey are two of the best storytellers on the planet. So, just from like the concept of being able to turn anything into a story.
Yeah,
it's a very YouTuber mindset. They were like, it's like early YouTubers, like Corridor Digital is a great example. They did the vlogs for a while, and those vlogs were always like how to turn a story out, how to turn anything into a story. And those vlogs were always super simple, but they just pick a point, and it's like, or something happens in the day, and it's like, how do we turn what just happened into a story? They had one that was super stupid where like a ball got stuck to the ceiling in their studio, and then like they it was like, okay, what can we do with that? That's funny because the ball got stuck up there. What are we gonna do? Well, let's start a cult. So they start a cult about the ball. It's like you can go ridiculous, but they know the concept, story.
Yeah.
Because a ball stuck on the roof, therefore it must be a god. So then we start a cult to worship the god because it's stuck to the ball. It's like, right? It's a ridiculous story.
But it's still a story.
But it's a basic plot. The plot happens. Yeah. All right. What's the next comment we got here?
740. Not a bad thing.
Hold on, my mouse died. I think a lot of this is still all just the same notable trend that runs throughout this entire season of TV. Ultimately, though, however, none of that even matters because the finale has nothing to do with anything really even remotely set up in episode 1. Yes, the bad thing.
The finale has nothing to do with the entire show. Bro, that's not a bad thing. What?
Yes, that's a bad thing. I don't know what to tell you. If it's a movie, I guess it's not
so
a bad
funny.
thing technically, but it's a show.
That's so funny.
So yes, that's a bad thing.
Dude, the next one is one of the best ones. It's 8:45. Stop looking at everything as setups and payoffs. Stories don't need that. That is one of the most lobotomite statements I've ever heard.
Before that, let's just see why he decided doomed to feel like a waste of time when everything set up in episode 1 and even stuff set up in episode 2 has no effect on the finale of the show. Reread the comment again. Let's just refamiliarize because maybe you misread it the first time. It sounded so stupid. It can't.
Stop looking at everything as setups and payoffs. Stories don't need that.
This comment came in, and I was
what a
pretty
story
sure.
is.
This was when I went to like 60%. He's just trolling.
Yeah,
and he still might be.
He could be.
And this comment's my main reasoning for why I think that it's like, brother, that's literally story. I don't know what to tell you. That is literally what a story is. You set something up and then you pay it off at the end.
Yeah, or you set it up, and then you give like it doesn't pay off, but that is the payoff. Like,
all right, let's do this in the simplest way possible, Jake. Let's say my life is the Truman Show, okay? But they got to get a TV episode out of it. And maybe it'll be a boring TV episode. So I wake up in the morning, and I really want a white monster.
Mm-hmm.
All right? So I wake up, and I go, I really want a white monster. Should we end the story with me driving off a cliff into an ocean? Or should we end the story? I guess technically that'd be funnier. Let me think of a better. Should the story end with me going through my day and like nothing else happens and I just go to sleep? Or should the story have me getting a white monster at some point in it?
It should have you getting a white monster in it at some point.
Because why would I mention the white monster if I wasn't or at least going, maybe, you know what, I shouldn't have the white monster because it's bad for my health.
Or maybe you get to the gas station, so you go, oh shit, I'm on E, I gotta get gas first. You pay for gas, and then you go to grab a white monster and you go, oh shit, I'm out of money, I can't get this anymore. That's still a payoff.
Exactly.
Because it ties in.
Or even I wake up and I go, man, I really want a white monster. And then 2 minutes later I go, nah, I shouldn't have any more white monsters.
That's a payoff.
At least that's a payoff.
It's not going, oh man, I'm going to go get a white monster. And then it just cuts to you at work without one.
It like doesn't address the white monster.
Yeah. It's like,
Chekhov's gun.
That's
Chekhov's gun. Another basic storytelling concept. Chekhov's gun. If there's a gun in Act 1 of the play, it's going to be involved in Act 3. That's storytelling 101. Yes, it's a bit of a cliche, kind of. It can be used in that term, but it's also literally just story. Because you don't want to just fill someone's mind with a bunch of stuff and then not do anything with it.
Yeah. And Chekhov's gun doesn't necessarily just refer to a physical item, but it's like, if you have something occupying your audience's mind during your story, it shouldn't be random bullshit that doesn't matter or affect your story. What they're thinking about should tie into the plot. Because say I'm filling your mind with, oh, McDonald's ad, random garbage, random garbage, random garbage. Serious plot point that you need to understand the end of the story. Random garbage, random garbage, random garbage, random garbage. Maybe you don't catch that serious, really needed plot point, and then you get to the end and you go, what?
And then you go find a video that points it out and you comment, lie. You don't need setups and payoff.
You comment, listen, dude,
and now
you don't need setups and payoff.
Now you've committed yourself to defending this because you really liked it, even though that massive thing that you really needed to know kind of ruined the story. And so now you have to look like an idiot by saying you don't need setups and payoff. If evil bad guy comes into my room and is like, man, I hate having a peanut allergy, and then I just realized this is Paul Blart Mall Cop too. And then and then I'm in the big boss fight with the bad guy, and I just shoot him in the head because I have a gun. You know, technically that's probably a better story, but why in Act 1 of the story did he walk in and go, I hate having a deathly tree nut allergy?
It's like maybe kill him with peanut butter.
No, not if you have a gun. If you have a gun, just shoot him. But I'm just saying, like, why would you even have that be a scene that you're setting up? Like, that's just a pointless scene. That's the setup and the payoff. It keeps your story from becoming clustered with a bunch of crap. So I guess, again, technically, I'll say this same as like what he said with it's a good thing that you don't have an A plot and a B plot. Technically, you can tell a story without setup and payoff. It's technically possible, but it will be the most low-level, basic-minded, simple monkey story ever.
The next one's kind of along the same lines. It's 918. These things are not universal. There are no universal storytelling method. I would like to note the poor grammar and wrong use of there.
There is no... Oh, so this is, again, me. I mean, does this graph not answer the question? These things are universal. Again, it doesn't have to happen in this exact order, right? The movie doesn't have to start here and end here.
Yeah.
The movie can start here and end here. Or start here and end here. Start here and then go here and then jump here and then end here. You can do that.
This is what's funny is people like this who are stupid will say you're media illiterate because you cite something like this basic story arc thing, and then they'll go, oh well look at Pulp Fiction. The ending isn't even the end of the chronological story, exactly. so it didn't follow this, but it did. It did follow the story arc because in the setting of the story, Samuel L. Jackson's character, he goes through his full character arc in the order of the movie, not exactly the chronological order that we see, because we see him after his big like breakthrough where he decides to be a better guy, but we don't ever hear about it until the end, which is before that. So it does follow this. You're just too unintelligent and media illiterate, as you love to call people, to actually understand that.
And another thing, right? Like, even like Saving Private Ryan opens here, where my mouse is right here, opens here, jumps back here, goes back to here, ends here again.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to start with the problem beginning, technically.
Yeah.
It can start at the end of the subplot of subplot 1 here. And then jump back, and then go for it, right? It's just, this is I put this in as a visual aid, because surely someone's not going to be stupid enough.
Technically.
It's even in the video. I'm literally explaining. It's like, in the video, I'm literally like, these things are how, like, I would challenge this guy to look at any non-James Gunn, because Creature Commandos suffers with a lot of the and then. Superman has a lot of the and then. A lot of that. Even, bro, the Suicide Squad has it too, but Suicide Squad also has, like, cause and effect stuff.
Yeah.
Go watch any show. Go watch, obviously I'm preferable to Mobland. Go watch any of that. And it's like, go watch stuff that's good. Go watch Shawshank Redemption. Go watch Pulp Fiction even. And just look at it at a level deeper than, like, you're, like, sitting here on your phone.
Shawshank is a good example, again. And I think Pulp Fiction is actually one of the better examples of, like, going out of order chronologically to show the character progression in a better way, because I think all the characters get their own arc, and it's not aside from one of them, I guess technically you could say two, but like the two main characters, their arc doesn't fit perfectly chronologically. It works better if you show it out of order.
Yeah, this guy being a complete, like, just complete, I don't want to call him an idiot. I mean, I think he is an idiot, but, like, I'm trying to think of the right word for it. I really want to say media illiterate. I just don't like using that word. I just hate it. It's just so stupid.
It's overused, but it is technically accurate.
It's technically, I mean, it is technically a thing that can be used, but, like, this guy just being so numbed to, like, how you actually, to, like, he, like, need me need something happening on screen every 2 seconds, no matter what. Like, just being like that kind of mindset is like helping you write your video. So, that was my plan all along. All right, where do we go to next?
937. He just says wrong.
Okay, let's see. What's the big thing I'm wrong about here? Look at those or sci-fi shows. No, it applies to shows. Thing that just applies to drama shows. A couple of years ago. Again, we don't even need to talk about this because it's literally just me talking about A plots and B plots. With Peacemaker season 1, and it's not like that's something that just applies to drama shows or action shows or sci-fi shows. No, it applies to shows across the board, including comedies. Look at South Park or Tires. Shows that. Brother, I'm just gonna say this because I know we already talked about this. There's a reason I specifically cited 2 silly, ridiculous shows, and I even clarified have objectively ridiculous stories, but they're riddled with comedy bits that actually push the plot forward.
Point made.
The reason is because Peacemaker doesn't do that, and that's how you tell a compelling story. I understand you don't agree with that, but everyone who has a brain does. Like there's a reason every story does that. I guess again, not technically universal, but universal across things that are successful. All right, what's next? We don't have to. We've talked plenty about Tires.
1035. Wrong, and wrong.
Ooh! I bet I'm correct, and correct.
That's what I'm thinking.
Should we put some money on it? And the development of the 11th Street.
Oh,
Peacemaker. Yes, character development.
Bang!
One man. Actually, we gotta take a pause real quick. Give me like a few minutes here. You're gonna have. My OBS logo is gonna pop up on screen. I have to take a call real quick. Sorry. So
you're good.
Entertain the audience.
All right. I'm gonna start going through. I'm just gonna go through all the that guy comments, because they're not quite as entertaining because it's not one person having a schizophrenic episode and leaving 50 comments on a YouTube video, but it is actually pretty entertaining. I'll start at the very bottom. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 womp womps in a row, and then the comments tell me it's just an autistic man going through his autistic rage. Again, I think we already went through that one, but yeah, my boy Caleb's autistic. He was having an autistic breakdown. Yeah, good snipe there, bro. 2 more womp womps, and then this guy actually kind of knows ball. You nailed it, which is too bad. I liked season 1 a lot. I like these characters. I like their interactions. I even like a lot of the irreverent humor. However, as you note, they lost the thread this season in a major way. Too bad. See, this guy is actually, like, he actually has a brain. When you watch a show like this and you go, yeah, no, these characters are really good. It's just like in season 1. That's not a good thing. Because the start of season 1, take Harcourt, for example. Harcourt thinks Peacemaker is a loser. She thinks he's an idiot. She doesn't like him. By the end of season 1, she's developed. She's realized, okay, Peacemaker is actually a good guy. I think he's kind of funny. He has his own charm to him. She comes to like him. And then season 2, she's right back to where she started in season 1, where she doesn't like him. She thinks she's dumb. She thinks he's silly. She thinks he's immature. All of that. It's not good for 2 seasons of one show to be exactly the same in terms of character development when you've already developed the characters. That is, like, objectively bad storytelling. So you can say, like, oh, well, I liked season 2 because the characters were just like in season 1, but they shouldn't be. They should be where they left off at the end of season 1, and then you should build from there with new problems, new developments, and new character arcs. You can't just sit in one place and just, like, stay stationary with where your characters are. Or go back and literally just follow the same arc in a worse way in another season. Like, that's slop. That's what slop is. The next one, it took you guys way too long to figure out that Gunn is just an untalented nerd. I actually do. I get what this guy's saying, and like currently, I think Gunn is kind of. I think he works better under other people, and I'm not saying that as like a shot at the guy. I do too. I work better in a group of people where I throw out an idea and they go, "Dude, that's a shit idea. That sucks." And I go, "All right, you're right." And then I throw out an idea and they're like, "Yeah, that actually works. That's good." Some people they need that, like, they need that back and forth. They need somebody that's at least like equal on their level, not necessarily like above them. They don't need some boss like griping at them all the time, but they need somebody they're working with to go, "Listen, you're on the right track, but this idea it just doesn't work." They need people to tell them that sometimes. But I don't think Gunn is untalented. I think he's a very talented director, and I just think he has his specialty. It's just he's done it so many times, and in some cases, like the same thing with the same characters, or the same thing with characters that don't fit that format, that make all the newer stuff kind of feel either played out or just like plain old not good. Like Guardians 3, for example, it was just like a watered down Guardians 1 and 2. It just felt like worse. It felt tired, and it didn't feel like it had the same passion behind it that the first two did. There were some good moments in 3, but it just wasn't the same. And then, Superman, that's like, they're not the right characters for Gunn. So when James Gunn takes creative control over all of the DCU, right? He basically chooses himself as the director for a lot of the stuff. Yeah, you're good.
Am I good? Can you hear me? Okay.
He chooses. I'm gonna finish this point, and then we'll get back to it. He chooses himself as the director for these things, and since he's the head of it, he's gonna like take it upon himself to take on Superman, even though it's not the right project for him. It is much better suited to someone else.
James Gunn should make a Snowflake movie.
Yes, exactly. I was kind of cooking while you were gone. I started going through all the non-that guy comments. There were actually some good points made.
There's some good discussion. That's one thing. Reason I'm
There really
were.
were.
Whether I should just remove this guy's comments or like copy them and then paste them all and reply to like one of his comments. Because like I just don't want it to be too clustered to prevent anyone else from like discussing in there. Because I do like the discussion. That's why I tried to start a back and forth discussion with this guy on one of them.
Yeah,
and
I was talking about the one guy's comment where he said like he liked season 1 a lot and he likes the characters and their interactions and stuff.
That's exactly how I feel about it.
And
that guy's comment.
The thing that I think a lot of people that like season 2 is they're like, "Oh, I like the characters in season 2 because they're just like they were in season 1," which is inherently a bad thing.
Oh,
because
we'll get to that. That's what
they don't have the same development. They have the same starting point, which is bad.
Managed to do this with the growth and the development of the 11th Street Kids. Now, pretty much every character is fully regressed, altered, or destroyed in Peacemaker Season 2. So that is wrong, and wrong.
That's what I just talked about.
as far as I've been told. Yes, I'm sure you covered it plenty. And I actually covered in the video, so it's correct.
Yeah.
Peacemaker doesn't develop. He is exactly the same. He started as a loser who was insecure about himself, right? Because he was super insecure about what he did in the Suicide Squad. The thing that changes him around is that he now has purpose with stopping Project Butterfly, and that the fact that he has to deal with him killing Rick Flag Jr. That's his whole character arc. That Peacemaker What a Joke clip plays about 50 million times in season 1. And it's because it's important to his character. Harcourt is, I'm on my own, whatever. I'm badass.
I don't
and
like
tough and cool, and
Peacemaker.
I shouldn't open myself up. I don't like Peacemaker. He's this, that, and the other thing. Throughout the story, oh wow, I guess I kind of like Peacemaker till its end. I do like Peacemaker. She should have died in season 1. That's a whole other thing. So I can attack this. He agrees with my Economos one. I think that's the next comment. What's the next comment here?
Next comment is 1342. Yes, if any of that actually happened.
It's not the Economos one. I think he agreed with Economos.
He probably deleted that.
He might have. No, because I'm still talking about Harcourt and Peacemaker here, I think. To go to another universe. All these things are what show that his character has completely regressed. them out, which was showed that he needed them and he cared about them through season 1 and also part of season 2. It doesn't make sense that one bad night with Harcourt is all it takes for him to want to. So I'm not sure what his comment actually is. I literally just described events that happened in the show.
Yeah, you just said what happened, and he was like, "That didn't happen, bro."
I'll rewind a bit. Through as he was showed, he also goes on to completely ignore his friends and shut them out. He did. That happened.
Yeah,
Right?
okay.
Remember
I
he
think he's
literally ditched
actually
them in episode 5.
might be schizophrenic.
I know. I still just want to go through this to be like, am I missing something? But that's why I'm double checking with you. He ditched his friends in episode 5, right? Things got hard, so he went through the door and went to the Nazi.
It's a real thing that happened.
Wanted to clarify there. Which was showed that he needed them and he cared about them through season 1 and also part of season 2. It doesn't make sense that one bad night with Harcourt is all it takes for him to want to go to another universe. Again, right? He got drunk and then Harcourt rejected him and then he texted new Harcourt, so he decided to go to the new universe. Right? Again,
Yeah, that's
I'm
literally
not
just
fabricating
what
things that
happened in the
happened,
show.
right? That's just what happened in the show. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure. All right, what's the next comment?
1430, he said, "Okay, I'll give you that one."
Okay, that's Economos. And again, you can't agree. I'll say this. You can't agree with my Economos point unless you agree with the other ones, because I just described what their character. I just described their character arcs. I just do. Like, I don't understand. Action. He doesn't want to risk his neck at the start. And then, through the development of the show, he grows a spine. He's willing to come out and obviously go on the ultimate mission to try to plant the bomb on Project Butterfly. He fails, but he was willing to still make the decision by the end of season 1. In season 2, he's back to being a spineless coward. He refuses to get involved in actions. He's always trying to flee and leave his friends behind, which he never would have done by the end of season 1. Also, you can't agree with this point unless you agree with the Peacemaker and Harcourt ones. It's just a fact. I'm just describing what happened in the show.
Yeah.
So, all right, what's next? Is this about Vigilante and Adebayo?
So, this one is like, in a minute and a half, it's 6 different comments. Starting at 1525, characters don't need to change.
Okay. okay.
And then stop it before 1536, because he has another comment there.
Necessarily. In some ways they do, but ultimately they don't have any change at all. They don't have growth or regression. They stay static and are essentially there normally as joke machines. They're there to provide a humor bit from time to time, whereas they both... Okay, I mean, I don't like...
That's just an objective...
Don't need to change.
That's just a dumb statement.
That's just true. Yeah, again, that's just another one of those. It's just like, it's just true. Like, characters need to change. That's how you have compelling characters.
Yeah.
Because everyone changes across a daily basis. You learn something new. You change your outlook on life. That's, like, I don't want to, like, you don't want to watch, there's a reason no one watches the movie of the guy who just wakes up on a normal day, goes to his 9 to 5, comes home, eats, and, plays with his dog, watches a TV show, and then brushes his teeth and goes to bed and does it again the next day. Because that's boring. Right now, sure, that's fun life. I wouldn't mind that. That's
people
nice
will go.
I'm not.
Well, you say Superman should just be. He should just be good, and he should just be saving people, and he should be like that all the time. So what's different with that?
Have you watched Platoon's video? Little Platoon's video yet?
Not yet. No.
Or any of it? Okay. He makes a very good point about it. He makes a good point putting this out. Superman's a Mary Sue character in Superman. Mary Sue is applied to females. But it's Superman. He realizes he's fun, silly, and a good person, but then he gets called into question whether he's a fun, silly, and good person. So then he sets back out to remind himself that he's a fun, silly, and good person, and then he acts as a fun, silly, and good person so that to remind the world that he is in fact a fun, silly, and good person, only for the world to side with him and decide that he is in fact a fun, silly, and good person.
Yeah. Whereas
that's Superman's character arc, and
Superman shouldn't be doing that. He knows he's good, and if people have to hate him for him to be able to save people and help people, Superman is okay with that. Does he
has to change.
Is that something he would want? No. But would Superman allow that if he had to? Yes. He wouldn't. He's not gonna cry because people hate him.
But like I'm not worried about that because maybe Corn Sweats would, right? I don't want to whenever we're talking about merits of the story, and I'm fine doing this when we do get to points, but it's like when we're talking about merits of story, I just want to look at it in a bubble of merits of story. I could tear Peacemaker apart for another 2 hours because of how much it ruins other stuff and how it's a poor adaptation of something and it's this and that. I'm not gonna do that because it's just a bad story. So I want to talk about why the story's bad. Look at it in a vacuum, right? So with Superman, yes, in my ideal form of Superman, I agree with what you said. But in this universe, maybe the Superman does want to be loved by everybody.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fine. Something just has to change with that status quo of him being a funny, silly, goofy, good person.
Yeah.
Because he never goes through a point where he even starts to wonder, maybe I'm not a fun, silly, good person. Because he knows the whole time he's a fun, silly, good person, and he always is a fun, silly, good person. And it's only the world around him that's like, you're not a fun, silly, good person, until the world has to change to remember that he is in fact a fun, silly, good person.
Yeah.
That's the same character arc as Ironheart or Captain Marvel, right? Riri Williams knows she's a genius and deserves money, so she decides to act like a genius who deserves money. But the world doesn't accept that she's a genius who deserves money until she continues to act on her own to prove that she's a genius who deserves money, so that the world finally accepts that she's a genius who deserves money. Captain Marvel. I mean, it's like there's a reason to marry Sue characters, but even and like I don't want to throw around ists and phobes, right? I think it's just not something people are as accustomed to looking at in the modern day of like Mary Sue is such an easy term to throw around. Ray, Captain Marvel, all these, there's so many Mary Sues, girl bosses, whatever you want to call them. But it is just a writing problem, right? Like Superman's a Mary Sue, even though he's a dude.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you don't point that out because it's just not the first thing you think of, because it is a bit of that sexism that you are. It is a baseline sexism, I will say that. But it's like, I'm not saying people
Go
are
watch
sexist 'cause they
Alien
don't like
1. See how badass Sigourney Weaver is.
Exactly. And then watch Alien Earth and see how stupid.
Exactly. And then see how bad everyone is. It's just right.
The point, yeah, exactly. I'm saying sexism, not saying obviously you know this, but I do want to clarify. It's like, I'm not saying you're sexist because you don't like Captain Marvel. That's what they say. You don't like Captain Marvel because she's a Mary Sue character and it's bad writing, right? The underlying sexism, because it's even something I didn't even think about this until Platoon did a good job of pointing it out in his video. That's one reason I always will recommend that video to anyone who still thinks Superman's like a flawless storytelling. Again, you had fun with it. That's awesome. It's not a good story. He does a good job pointing out. It's something I hadn't even really thought about. It's like, because Superman's not even a female character, I wasn't even like super thinking about the fact like his character's not changing at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's just something that's so obvious because we've come so accustomed to this female character being a Mary Sue.
Yeah.
So again, like that, characters do need to change. You're just not gonna have a compelling story otherwise.
Next one is the 1536. Vigilante did not.
He said so. That's him saying Vigilante didn't have a story in season 1, which is just a lie. Vigilante's whole story. I know I didn't go into detail because I didn't think I'd have to. And again, it's a season 2 video, not a season 1 video. So my comment said Adebayo and Vigilante don't have any story in season 2, whereas they both had a story in season 1. Vigilante is super obsessed with Peacemaker, and he will do anything to try to earn Peacemaker's respect. Adebayo exploits that by sending him into prison to kill Peacemaker's dad. And that leads to some fun Vigilante moments. Vigilante is very important for Peacemaker's growth. Vigilante does have to develop from being a ruthless murderer who's just going to kill someone for graffiti to actually being a useful asset to a team, and protecting those around him and actually growing friendship. Like it's just another thing that's objectively false from this guy saying. It's just wrong.
Next one is 1550. Completely missed the point.
Ooh, I love a good you missed the point. You didn't understand the point. Because half the time,
they missed
based off this guy's logic, it's wrong. Other half the time, it means that the point was done horribly. Let's see. From season 1. But other than this, there's pretty much no character.
It's 1550. You're a little too far.
Drug dealer is during the scene where it's revealed in his basement. He has tons of drugs and cash that he stole from drug dealers, but he refused to turn them into the police. That shows his corrupt moral judgment. I didn't miss the point. That's just what that's.
No, that's objectively what it is.
It's a funny scene. I said it's a funny scene. And yes, it's a funny scene in the show. But
I think he thought when you said corrupt, you were saying he was evil instead of he just has a misaligned moral compass because he doesn't trust the police, so he doesn't give them the money.
I guess.
But he also
I'll just clarify it.
He has his own morals, like he's not gonna use the money.
Exactly. Let me clarify it again. Again, part of his story in season 1 is that he's technically, yes, fighting criminals, but he's literally murder. Like, he's just killing. He's doing a Punisher extreme. He says, like, we have to kill everyone who breaks the law. If they're speeding, if they're doing graffiti, if they're whatever, he's going to kill them. So that's the reason I like this scene. It's funny, and it actually ties in with the character. It's a funny scene where they get cocaine on their face, and he just has all of this, like, obscene amount of money and cocaine. But based off his character in season 1, he wouldn't go to the police because, like, cops are corrupt, dude. So,
yeah.
I don't know what that comment's saying. Again, I think it's just wrong. Like, it missed the point. I'm not sure how I missed the point. I literally described the point, and that is the point. And if that's not the point, then they're stupid. Like, the writers are stupid. Well, the writers are stupid, but the writers are stupid if they didn't intend for that to be the point, because that's the point that I got from watching it. So, what's next?
1611, Adebayo is still important. No one else could have helped Chris like she did.
Adebayo is not important in season 2. She was important in season 1, and she didn't do anything to help Chris in season 2. What she gathered everyone up to return to help Chris, which they would have done anyway, because Harcourt was the one who really wanted to do it. Is there anything else that you can think of that she does to help Chris in season 2?
No, not
in season
like,
1.
actually.
I agree. She's very important to Chris's story. Like, it completely changes his moral outlook on life. That's why I didn't mind her character being whatever in season 1, because I thought she was very good and as like a side character to him. So again, I don't know. Peacemaker decides to come back to the real world because they were murdering his brother, and it's a horrible place, and the Nazis and all that. So I don't know how she helped him. That's just not in the story. I guess Harcourt was really the one who was like trying to free him because she loves Peacemaker. That was the whole point, you know?
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
Did you want to do that Adebayo one?
I mean, we just did it, didn't we?
You didn't play it.
Yeah, but I mean,
yeah.
it's just me saying Adebayo doesn't have a character, I think.
Growth
and development in season 1. Hold on. Now, the characters regressing or whatever wouldn't necessarily be an issue, because sometimes people fall back and Peacemaker's has no real character. Yeah, I mean, it's just me saying she doesn't have a character, which she doesn't in season 2. She just has no character.
And then 1625.
What is it?
If that actually happened, that would be bad, but that didn't happen.
Let's see. I bet it happened. I'm gonna go on a limb and say I have a feeling it happens. They then go through the exact same development that bad habits, but the problem is they then go through the exact same development that they did in season 1, meaning that by the end of season 2, we are right back at the same starting point. Again,
that's exactly what happened.
Now, I know.
At least
he
knows that would be bad. In theory, he just didn't understand it.
This is where I am pretty certain he might be autistic or Down syndrome or something, so I do kind of feel bad calling him like an idiot half the time, because it's like, I think the reason he's saying if any of that actually happened is because the exact plot points didn't happen as they happened in season 1.
Yeah, but it's the same.
They didn't stop Project Butterfly. They didn't have that awesome action. They didn't have any awesome action scene, but they didn't have that awesome action scene where they break into the food distribution plant and they're shooting all about it. It's a great scene. I really somewhat, and I always say really, I enjoyed decently enough season 1. So it's like, that's my only guess as to why he says if any of that actually happened, because it is true. Yeah. That scene of them walking out of Checkmate, all like, is literally something that should have happened at the end of season 1. That's basically what happened at the end of season 1. So, yeah, that's just true. That's just what happened.
Next one, 1650. It's not a repeat.
But
it's an evolution. That is the point of a sequel.
Peacemaker and Harcourt. It's not an evolution.
It's not an evolution.
She's, but yeah, at least he does admit that Peacemaker season 2 is bad.
That's true.
Because all of that
in a roundabout way.
And that would be bad. That would be bad if it happened, and it did happen. So, glad we agreed on something here.
1740 lie.
Yeah. Okay. Real quick on the 1650. This was about Harcourt and Peacemaker. Harcourt and Peacemaker grown to learn to accept each other. Peacemaker learns the Nazi world is a bad place because he needs to ignore his desire to be loved for family. Whatever. They go through the. That's literally the same evolution of season 1. Peacemaker has a crush on Harcourt. Harcourt thinks he's a weird jockhead and doesn't like him, and eventually through him revealing his character, she grows to accept him, and Peacemaker learns that his friends are the real reason that he should push his dad away, and he doesn't need the love of his dad to... It's just what happens, dude. Like, it just is. All right, what's the next one? Lie? What did I lie about?
1740. All
right, so I lied here. Let's see what I lied about. Thing of this show is... Lie implies malicious intent, so...
True. It implies you know, and you lied.
Let's see. Awful. There are moments where plot is happening, and then the scene cuts away to a pointless scene that's 5 minutes long, where a character makes a joke. So true.
True. Factual.
So just what happened in the show?
Yeah.
No, what's funny is him saying this is a lie implies that there's an A plot and a B plot in every episode,
which he is against
and says doesn't happen in the show.
Yeah.
Because if there aren't pointless scenes in the show, which there are, because there's no A plot and B plot, that would mean every scene has an effect on the plot.
Yeah.
Which it just doesn't. Every scene with Vigilante talking about bird facts has no effect on the plot. The first one with Economos literally does not have an effect on the plot. Do I need to make that more clear? I mean, there's nothing you can add. I would love your input, but there's nothing you can add. It just is what happened.
Yeah.
Again, it's just funny that he's also roundabout proving himself wrong by saying if this is a lie, therefore there is an A plot and a B plot, therefore all his other comments are false. So we were setting up like maybe I said something that wasn't correct, but I was like, I didn't actually know, so that's why that's why it's not a lie. I was uninformed or something. But I just told the truth. So, all right, what's next?
So we're gonna have like a time skip way forward and then behind where we currently are, and then we'll be back to like normal time because we're going chronological here.
Okay.
On his schizophrenic episode, 2744. Wow, lying and bullying, sweating, laughing emoji.
Okay, so I'm assuming this is me calling Adebayo fat based on the bullying.
Most likely, yes.
Let's see. So lying and bullying. Right, that's the comment?
Yep.
Okay, let's see here. Let me explain it to you. I'll start with the elephant in the room. Adebayo is very fat. She's fat, and that's not a lie. She's fat. I don't. Let's see. I guess fat definition.
You could say bullying, I guess, but lying is not.
Kind of, but bullying implies that I'm making stuff up to hurt her feelings, whereas I'm pointing out the fact that she's fat because that's relevant to the point. I'm not necessarily trying to hurt the actress' feelings. I don't really have any problems with the actress, other than the fact that apparently she was like, I can't handle people pretending to be racist. And that's probably just James Gunn. Okay, so the official definition, I believe this is according to Oxford, of fat is of a person or animal having a large amount of excess flesh. So,
Kind of.
I believe truth. So, we'll hand the bullying. I think we'll give him a quarter of a point. So, on our way to 1 full point, that's correct, other than him agreeing with me. Because him agreeing with me is not a point, because we're looking for critiques. We're looking for criticisms that are true. Constructive criticism here.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll give him a quarter of a point. We'll say I'm bullying.
Yeah.
Now, I made
Good for him.
I excessively pointed out because I do think it's kind of funny. But it was worth pointing out because that's very relevant to how horrible this scene is.
It's relevant to how the scene's written. Like, you're not going to have John Economos do a quadruple backflip and tornado kick somebody in the head to knock him out because he's extremely fat. Exactly. That doesn't mean... I'm not saying I hate him. I'm not saying he's a bad character. Economos can be a great character. But you're realistic. Just like you don't write Superman getting knocked out by a 2-year-old girl who tripped and fell onto his foot. Like, you write your characters based off what and who they are.
Yeah, the only actual, like, closest I'd say that I wrote something that was, like, because I would rather the person feel bad was the James Gunn pedophilia joke. Where I, like, intentionally, like, I had that joke thought of after I watched episode 1 of Peacemaker, and I was like, that's going in my next review.
Yeah.
I don't care where I have to fit it in. It's going somewhere.
Yeah.
This one, like, again, I didn't sit here and go, how do I make this actress want to kill herself?
It's a writing flaw.
I was like, okay, I'm going to talk about how the fact that she ran away from all these skinny racists and Nazis and jumped a fence that skinny people would struggle to jump because it's not an easy jumpable fence. It's not like one of the
because there's no foot grab on the fence.
Exactly.
It's just the top, so you have to physically jump all the way over.
I need to point out that physically it would be pretty hard for her to do this. All right.
Yeah.
I'm assuming there's more comments for that. What's the next? So we're jumping back?
This is jumping way back, 1453, but they don't need
we're going back to characters.
Yeah.
I think this is character involved.
I think
he refuses to get involved in action scenes, always trying to flee and leave his friends behind, which he never would have done by the end of season 1. Also, there's moments where he is willing to sell his friends out so that he doesn't get fired. Whereas, I'm wondering if this is a missed timestamp because this is Economos, which you already agreed with me.
Probably try 1853 maybe, because he goes to 18 next.
Let's see, 18. Well, no, I'm talking about blood.
Actually, no, it doesn't. I don't know. That's weird. Just go.
We'll
just go to the next
We'll give
one.
him the benefit of the doubt. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Assume it was just an accidental miss thing, and he was actually making a totally incorrect point about something else, and not critique, and not. Okay, if
Not just
so,
saying words.
Hold on. We can either be super positive and nice here and say, okay, it was just a misstamp and he was doing something else. We won't worry about that. Or we can say he is actively now disagreeing with himself.
Yeah.
I think so. So if we want to go that route, we should take away his quarter point again. That's my.
I think we leave him with an eighth of a point.
Okay. Well, so, no, I'm not going to eighths. I'm doing quarter math. So we're just thinking he either gets the quarter or he loses the quarter for this point.
I think he's got to lose it since he just told himself
Okay.
he was
All right,
wrong.
back to 0. Sweet. And this will make up for him now. This is twice that he's completely gone against his own argument.
Yes. The next one, 1825, competent government is an oxymoron. I agree
Not
with that.
the point.
I agree with
fully with the point.
with
not
that
the point I was
exact
making in the video.
with that exact 5-word quote. I do agree with that statement. However, in the
Completely
context of
irrelevant
the
of the
show
context.
and the writing of the show, it's blatantly incorrect.
Yes, the FBI is competent in surrounding a building and arresting a fugitive.
Exactly.
They are competent in doing that. So I do agree, and you know what? We'll say it's a joke. We'll see who's making a joke down there. Competent government. That's an oxymoron.
Yeah, he's
I
just
do
getting
fully
silly.
agree with that.
That is a
The
good
government's
statement.
fully incompetent. They're shut down right now because they're idiots.
Yeah.
So, I agree. But
Yeah.
in the context of this video, just not true.
They're massively
The Argus
inefficient and
would have to
bad
be competent.
beings in and of themselves.
Exactly. FBI fully competent in arresting people. It's kind of their job. So, we'll move on. We'll assume he was making a joke.
1852. We're about to get to Eagle Hunter complaints. 1852. Magic exists in the DCU. To have a problem with this is to have a problem with the existing of magic.
Not the point I made. The point I made is this ridiculous and absolutely out of nowhere.
Yeah. Not that you're mad
That's
at the
whole point.
magic.
The whole reason I was explaining this was to tell you this was my point of pointing out how stupid a lot of stuff was. Because a character has bird blindness, we arrive at a master eagle hunter doing this, levitating across. So I don't necessarily have a problem that he's able to do this. I think it's a bit ridiculous and stupid, and I don't understand why it exists. But I don't have a problem with it existing. My point with this was to point out how schizophrenic this show sounded, which I literally clarified. Do you see why I said if I broke down the story and plot, you would think I was insane or?
Yeah.
That was the point I was making there. I wasn't making the point of this. I actually have been in a science class and know this can't happen in real life. That's not the point I'm making, because guess what? I'm actually a big fan of Spider-Man. So
And Lord of the Rings, which is literally magic to the bones to the foundations of the earth.
So yes, the point I wasn't making the point of. Well, actually,
Well,
you couldn't
that doesn't
fly
happen
over
in
a
real
forest.
life.
You couldn't astral project over a forest and track an eagle that way. The point I was making is we went from, because a guy has bird blindness, they brought in a master eagle hunter dressed like a Native American who, because okay, sorry, let me actually change this. And then Economos shoved him, and then he hit his head on a rock, and then he got like he had an eternally bleeding wound, and then stripped down to a loincloth, and then went into a forest, and then drew an eagle on the ground, doing a blood ritual, and then astral projected over, and then he flew around while astral projected over a forest to track an eagle. That's the point I was making, is that that's a little ridiculous.
Yeah. You weren't being like, actually, Balrogs aren't real, man. I can't take this seriously.
I don't think that orcs are a real thing, actually. I don't actually think there's one ring to rule them all. I think that,
guys, it's just
there's no superpowered rings.
Guys, it's just a ring. It's just a little ring.
I don't think their feet should be that hairy. I've never seen a foot that hairy before, and it's quite large for their size.
Why are those people so small, but proportionally the same?
I don't think midgets' feet are that big.
I don't think so. That's not accurate, man. Why is that?
I don't think.
Why is
I don't
Orlando
think it'd be
Bloom
a giant flaming eye?
Why does Orlando Bloom have pointy ears? That's a weird genetic mutation that's unlikely to happen in real life.
I'm pretty sure that a Dark Lord couldn't manifest himself into a giant eyeball tower.
I'm actually
Alright, let's
the
go.
next comment I'm gonna read in the exact same nerd voice because it sounds like the most smug, dumb sentence I've ever heard in my entire life. It's at exactly 20 minutes.
Lie. As I suspected, this was actually a fake twist, especially since they were not trying to hide it. The real twist is in episode 7.
Oh, I'm gonna before you start. He's talking about the no black people thing.
Hold on.
But what I want to say first, real quick, there's no twist in episode 7. Episode 7 does not have a plot twist at any point. So this statement is already incorrect. I just want to point out that
As I suspected, this was actually a fake twist.
Let's see what I'm talking about here. Subversive, crazy twist is that this universe that Peacemaker has called the what? Okay. Best universe ever and keeps going back to is actually an alternate universe where the Nazis won World War II.
Did he not pick up on the sarcasm?
Hold on. Okay, I have about 30 things. One, I was like assuming, oh, I must have said something that happened in like when he killed himself or like something that happened in an earlier episode, and he's saying that's not the twist. The real twist was the reveal of the Nazi one. So now I'm very confused.
You're saying the Nazi world was the twist, but
I'm saying
it wasn't.
I was being sarcastic and saying this is so subversive and really a well done twist, which is obviously not true.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to because there's one of these comments is real dumb and it's probably one of the next ones. All right, what's the next one?
2020 or 2125. In quotation marks.
This is the one.
You can't have a twist if you don't tell us what it is. Laughing
Not
emoji.
the point. Not the point, dude. Just like, yeah, you can't have a gotcha subversive twist when you don't have any of this already set up subtly in the background. So that's the point.
Yeah,
Subtly in the background.
Yeah, he's not saying.
I'm not expecting Peacemaker to walk through the portal in episode 2 and his dad to go like, "Man, don't you just love Hitler, dude?" And then it's supposed to be a big reveal. No,
James Gunn to pop on screen and go, "Hey guys, there's no black people in this universe."
Yeah. So the point I made was that there is outside of the lack of minorities in the background, which, as I also point out in my video, is entirely possible. There are places in the world that actually aren't
especially
very
in rural America.
Especially in Washington. It's kind of Portland's whole thing. It's just white people. It's kind of the whole thing up there. But yeah, no, I didn't say that. I'm saying you can't act like this is like it was happening in the back, you didn't even realize. Because the whole point of this twist was that it was happening in the background and you didn't realize. That's the point of this twist, is that you're a Nazi because you didn't realize.
Yeah.
So my point is it can't be you're a Nazi, you didn't realize just because there's no minorities in the background. You need to have, you got to have a scene where someone's like, someone criticizes something that Argus did or whatever, and then someone else is like, well, keep your voice down, or you can't.
Mm-hmm.
Or everyone needs to be actively uncomfortable, or maybe the world doesn't need to just be the most perfect place you've ever thought of where there's no crime ever. James.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. What's the next one?
Okay, so it's about to get funny. He's gonna give you your credit for one, and then he's basically, other than a couple random just wrongs, he's basically just mad at you.
Yeah, this is when we switched to the ad hominem. I believe this was when day 2 took over and he decided he was just mad.
He just gets really pissed off here. But
this is when we get to ad hominem.
2233, he says, "Yeah, you're right about that one, and I would like to point out he used the wrong form of your." That's the level of intelligence we're dealing with.
He's a James Gunn fan, so I
he
know
probably never picked up on that plot point.
It's buried in an episode, so it's back there somewhere. Me and Jake have this theory that James Gunn doesn't know which your is the right your.
It feels like the Dokes meme from Dexter, bro.
Yeah, we
can't
prove it, but I
don't think he knows which one.
All right. And by the way, that comes from it happened in episode 1 Peacemaker. He texted the wrong one, and it wasn't like an autocorrect joke or anything.
And it was wrong in the captions as well.
Well, so there's a subtitle in Creature Commando that has the wrong your as well. Now, the reason we don't what would be the ultimate proving point for us is if we could get confirmation that they literally just transcribed the script into the subtitles, which I don't think they do, because James Gunn's so improv heavy that I don't think they do that. So I'm assuming it has to be a mistake of someone else.
I would assume.
But if we can somehow ever find out that it was literally just they transcribed script, or it keeps happening in other projects, then we can confirm that he does not know which yours is right. So we're on it early. So don't let everyone else start jumping on.
We've been on this since day one, bro.
We are day one.
We leaked the story.
Your thing. So so I'm right about this one. All right, let's see.
Yes, 2233.
His chest. It's revealed this universe's Peacemaker was often quite like that. His brother was like that. It's revealed this, quote unquote, is how he likes to think of himself. What happens? Peacemaker, who is like, an American hero, quote unquote, is how he likes to think of himself, would absolutely have the imagery on his chest. It's revealed this universe's Peacemaker was often quite like that. His brother was like that. There would be no reason this would be the first time we're confronting this decision, this ultimate. Okay, yeah. So we are again at a point where he's disproving his past self by agreeing with me. So he's agreeing that it's utterly ridiculous that a National Socialist country isn't nationalist. Which is what the twist is. So I can't be wrong that actually you can't have a twist if you don't tell me what it is. And
be right
that
about this.
There's exactly just these two things don't correlate. So we either it's a shame that this guy's only earned 1/4 point and we already had to take it away.
We had to deduct it.
Points more. All right.
Oh wait,
let's go to the next thing.
This is a banger. 2548. I was gonna say, do we give him one back for that one? But he was contradicting himself. Is he technically in the negatives right now?
No, we're not going. We're not because we're not actually scoring him. It
That's
was just
fair,
okay, we gave him a kind of on the edge 1/4 point here, but then it was like, okay, if you do something that egregious, we had to take it back.
That's fair.
He can only go positive. He would be like negative. Well, how many comments? We're through like 20. He'd be like -20 at this point.
That's fair.
We'd do like -5 every time he disproves himself. If we were doing a fair scoring system. It's kind of disappointing to me that this is going to be the only video that there's this many comments from one person, because we can't make it a series. Like, we can't every time either of us release a video, like, come back and do this.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing I'm
we'll
a little
have to hit the big
on.
ones.
Exactly. All right.
This is a banger.
What's the next time, Sam?
2548. Yes, they would, and no, it is not un-American, and even if it was, nobody cares. Fuck Slum-America.
What's Slum-America?
Like Slum America is what the pun he was trying to make.
Everyone is clearly uncomfortable and unsafe because stupid way to write this. You need to have that. Everyone is clearly uncomfortable and unsafe because the majority of the. Okay, I'm assuming real quick. This is probably another example. They don't understand hyperbole. Doesn't have to be everyone. There can be some big Nazis up there.
Yeah,
That's what happened
can
in
be some
Germany.
Nazis.
And there can even be people going along with the Nazi regime. I'm just saying. Even in Germany, it wasn't like every single German citizen was like, man, I just absolutely love what's going on.
You didn't walk to a bakery, to a German bakery, and they were like, man, I hate every Jew. Like, maybe they did. Maybe they didn't.
There were some. There was a lot of them.
Like, it doesn't mean,
say there's a lot.
like, not every single, like, German resident that wasn't a Jew or a persecuted minority was like, man, I love Hitler. Like,
and we can... And
not the whole country was evil. Like,
and if you want to look back on it and say like, oh well, they weren't standing up to it. Okay, you didn't stand up to over oppressive COVID regulations and stuff like that. So I want to point that out. You wouldn't stand up. You would probably be going along to that just as well.
Yes.
So the whole comment, read it again for me there, except the F slum merit. I don't know. What
yes, they would, and no, it is not un-American. And even if it was, nobody cares. Being a Nazi is inherently un-American.
Hold on.
Just
right, let's finish the clip. Would in fact not be in support of a Nazi regime. It's naturally un-American.
You just said yes, they would. like if Hitler ran for president right now, yes. We would be like, well, yes.
I don't want to jump to any conclusions, but I'm gonna assume, especially based on some later comments, this guy's probably not the biggest Trump. He was probably at a No Kings rally this weekend. Which is good for him. He needs to get outside.
Yeah, go touch some guys. He probably watched it. He probably watched it. He didn't go outside.
It's fair. He probably commented, "This is stupid," and then like a second later, was like, "I agree with this fully."
I agree with everything you're saying. Fuck you.
I mean, I guess we can get into I mean, basic history lesson here.
We fought against
so-
Nazis in World War II.
And even then,
To
even want to go
summarize.
further here. Want to go even further here. There's this small little battle called the Civil War. So in the Civil War, we actually decided that it was properly un-American to enslave people to do work for you for free. So we actually fought a war over it. It's the bloodiest battle in America. It's the bloodiest war in American history. So, and the good guys won. We won. The North won. The U.S. won. It was a rebellion. It was notably they called themselves the Confederate States of America instead of the United States of America because it's un-American to support slavery. They started a whole new country because they loved enslaving black people so much. States' rights. Shut up. You're racist.
Yeah, no, you're racist.
All right, so basic history lesson. That was un-American. I hate to this might be a little on the nose, but we did literally land on the beaches of Normandy to go fight Hitler. I say we, me and you didn't. We're nerds who sit here. 18-year-olds back in the 1940s landed on the beaches of Normandy and went and killed. And hold on, we gotta clarify this. Not specifically our great-grandparents, okay? Not specifically ours. Maybe some did, maybe some didn't. They don't understand hyperbole. We really have to.
American ancestors. And some non-American ancestors.
So point being, it is natively un-American. That's why we actually were very, we were actually pretty against the Nazis. That's kind of why we went against them.
Yeah, that's kind of why we fought
And also,
the Allies, not the Allies.
Immediately after, we actually low-key battled against socialism, because that is the second half of the socialism thing. Now, is there nationalism in America? That's fine. Yeah, I agree with that. There's nationalism in America, sure. Some nationalism, but nationalism is not necessarily a wrong thing. Being proud of your country is not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, it's
That's
a bad
not really
thing.
what the Nazis were doing.
It's
though.
a bad thing
if you do it.
You're
and combine
like
it with socialism and take over the country and decide. That's where it's.
Then it's like, whoa, chill.
Yeah. So you're wrong.
Yeah. The next two are 2929 and 2947. At 2929, it's wrong, and then 2947, it's just one wrong.
So
4 wrongs
early
total.
Bets, are we thinking correct, and then correct?
That's the lines I'm thinking.
Just gauging an early thing here. So he skipped the rest of the autobio scene. So I don't know if that's just a silent admittance that that was a little ridiculous, or if that's
I don't know, but dude, I'm looking at the next comments, and it's literally just like him getting mad at you, and then just saying like, "Yeah, maybe there is a problem with the show. Who cares, man?" It's like,
all right, we've lost the plot. All right, so 2927. This is the 4 wrongs.
Yes.
Here.
And that the people jump in the pool after
her.
And then after them.
So he does go after some. Let's see you take this on. I don't know what the 4 points that I'm wrong about
being
are.
on land, controversial. Stupid, especially when the people chasing her decide to jump in after her. If you're a kid running with your older sibling, and if you're playing tag and someone jumps in the pool, you go to the other side of the pool. You don't jump in the pool after them. Because being on land, controversial. I'm gonna say this, is a lot faster than swimming. So
okay, so let's. I don't know what the 4 wrongs specifically are, so we'll start with this one. Correct.
That's number 1.
The pure luck that she decides to get in this pool, let alone all the build-up for her to get here, and that the people jump in the pool after.
That's correct. That's very lucky.
Yep.
After her, and then on top of that, the contrivance that Judo Master happens to find this one spot, and
again, very lucky, very contrived. That was written because it needed to happen. That's what a contrivance is. That needs to happen, so you write it. There's no logical reason for it to happen, but it needs to happen, so that's why we write.
Grab the telephone wire and electrocute everybody in the pool. All of this to set up a joke about Judo Master saying, well, that's the most people I've ever electrocuted in a pool before.
Again, that was the point of the pool scene.
Yeah.
Was it the point of the whole chase scene?
No.
I guess technically not.
But basically.
I would lean towards it is, but
it's to separate Adebayo so her and Judo Master are together.
The point of the contrivance, the point I'm making is that the getting in the pool thing is so contrived because it's just not a logical jump you would make. If she tripped and fell in the pool, none of this point would have mattered. You can then say wrong. She didn't. She chose, and I made sure to make that very clear. She chose to jump in the pool.
Yeah. For literally no reason.
Which is objectively slower than running.
Yeah.
I don't care how fat you are. It's slower.
If I'm standing next to a pool, sprinting, and Michael Phelps, the greatest swimmer of all time, is swimming as fast as he can, I'm going to
The
beat
same
him.
distance.
I'm going to beat him.
You're gonna beat him. That's just true. I was trying to find specific middle school, like I wanted to find a specific middle school like track number of like this. Some middle schooler ran 100-meter, and I didn't have to because it's literally just all of them.
Yeah.
It's like it's just true. Michael Phelps takes 50 seconds for him to swim 100 meters.
Because I don't know if you know this, swimming is hard.
Hold on. I need to clarify this. That sounded really like it takes him. Obviously, that's impressive. That's the world record.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
saying
Michael Phelps is the
it
greatest
takes him
swimmer of
that
all
long
time.
compared to me running.
Yeah, because running is faster than swimming. Swimming is hard.
That whole swimming thing is super contrived, and it serves exclusive to that joke because otherwise that fully contrived scene wouldn't exist.
Also, you know, how you get around all day, you walk around. Running is faster walking. You don't wade around all day. You don't, like, you aren't treading water all day.
All right.
Like,
we should.
That's,
like, there's no.
We're getting too deep on the. Yeah, we're.
If anyone wants to claim that Out of Bioscene is not one of the most poorly written, contrived things ever, then they're just like that's just stupid and illogical. It just is. Right,
the next one's so funny. It's at 30-20. The entire season was building to this episode, so fuck you.
Dude, you're right. He was. This was day 2, I think.
He's
so
getting
I think
pissed.
He came back even. I think he stopped halfway through because he was annoyed, and then like stewed on it and got like so pissed. All right, let's go. Hold on.
Point I'm gonna even talk about here is the finale. I have to talk about this separately.
Wait! He's gonna disprove himself again
Because it doesn't really connect with the rest of the show at all, like I mentioned earlier. In the
and that's a good thing.
What a dunce, bro. What a dunce. We might have to put him in the negatives for that. What a moron.
Wow.
He's just contradicting himself. This might be a different person on his account.
That one's the most explicit contradiction of himself.
Yeah, because he literally said it's better because the finale's not connected, and then he said the entire season was building up to it, so fuck you.
I wonder if he let his friend or something actually, like, he's like, you should just, bro, watch this video, watch how ridiculous this video is, and comment on it. Because that is, like, the most egregious one yet of him genuinely, like, going, I got him with this one.
What an
I
idiot.
got this.
I
got this. I got this.
The next.
It's literally. Hold on. I'll go back to the timestamp in a second. I gotta try to find it. It's literally what I said was gonna happen. In the freaking. I don't know where I said it, but it was where I put the clip from Bruce Almighty of Jim Carrey typing. Bro, hold on. Yeah, this is literally him.
Right down to the
I
comments
got
to leave
this.
A super angry statement calling me an idiot or saying
I got this. It's good because it doesn't connect. It actually built up to this one, you. All right. All right. What's the next?
30-50, just bigotry.
Ooh. So we're getting to the ad hominems.
Here we go.
We're getting to the ad hominem. So already his argument's wrong because it's an ad hominem. Unless he's saying bigotry is the reason, because I think I'm talking about how stupid this whole line was.
The era of gods and monsters has been around for 3 centuries. So for whatever reason, now they're deciding this is a problem. They're taking over the world. This needs to be kept.
No. They didn't decide because of bigotry. They decided because Superman was gonna rape the world.
Yeah.
Kind of. That technically, even though they really didn't believe that, that was just the bot farm.
Yeah.
I guess you can try to say this, but it's like, why would they? There's no reason for them to be bigots now. Which is the point I literally just said. Because obviously it would be bigotry for them to, like, we're going to round up all the metahumans. Yes, that would technically be bigotry. They're doing it because they're metahumans. But you have to set up why.
Yeah.
I understand that this guy's, like, punch Nazis and whatever guy. Like, sure, yeah, cool, let's punch Nazis. Real Nazis, not, just your average, person who voted because they didn't disagree with you. But, like, and to him, it's like, all, racists are just illogical. And it's like, yes, they are illogical, but something happened that made them connect those illogical dots.
Yeah.
Whether it was because they saw a psycho on the internet convince them that it was logical to hate someone because they look different than you. Something did happen. They weren't just born out of the womb waving the Confederate flag, you know, saying the N-word. It's like something happened.
Something happened or someone told them to be like that.
And this is another and then. Peacemaker season 2 needs to happen, and then the government decides to round up the metahumans.
Yeah.
This is what the and then thing is, which you have said is wrong. So, all right, what's next?
31-30. None of this fucking matters.
Ooh, we are, dude. He was mad. Okay, let's.
He's getting pissed. His next one is also a
not
banger.
even a metahuman. I'll point. Rick Flag wants sticking with him instead, and seemingly all of this is because Rick Flag wants revenge on Peacemaker, who is not even a metahuman. I'll point out he is literally just a normal human who has technology. He's not actually a metahuman. And B, he would have so many other ways to take revenge on Peacemaker.
Yeah, so actually all of that
plot,
matters.
So the plot doesn't matter. Cool.
Yeah,
all right,
I
move on.
agree.
Plot doesn't matter.
32-50.
Which I guess, in fairness, hold on. Should we give him a point? Because should we give him a point?
I'll give him a.
He's not contradicting himself.
I'll give him a point
No, I'm
there.
kidding. We're not giving him a point.
Just,
We're not giving him a point
just because I can pretend he's saying the show doesn't matter.
It's actually no, we'll give him a quarterback.
I'll give him.
Mostly 'cause
I'll
I
give
think
him a
he's gonna
fake point.
Immediately contradict himself again. We'll be super generous and say he's saying none of what happens in the finale matters because it doesn't connect to the rest of the season, which is true. Although if we side with that, that would immediately contradict something he said earlier, so we'd have to take the quarter point away immediately. So he's back to 0.
32-50.
Hold on. I just really want to point this out. So he says none of it matters, that Peacemaker isn't a metahuman, therefore why would Rick Flag need to set up this metahuman entrapment program? So the whole point with that was saying there's no reason Argus would all of a sudden, Rick Flag specifically, would go from Superman, sorry about this, man, didn't want this to happen, to, yeah, so actually we should form a whole planet to keep them on. Thanks, Lex. So my point is, it, like, the only metahuman he has, like, we've given any reason for him to hate would be Peacemaker, but Peacemaker's not a metahuman. So that very much does matter.
Yeah.
Because it would imply the development. I'm sorry, I really have to piss, so I'm gonna piss real quick.
All right.
I'm chugging too much water here.
I'll go back to reading the other people's comments while you're gone. Batfan99, thank you for reminding me to watch Netflix Daredevil Peak. That guy knows ball. Netflix Daredevil is my favorite show of all time. And in my professional opinion, probably the best project Marvel has ever made. Like, best single thing that Marvel has ever made. Grown men, by the way. That is correct. We are grown men, and this show sucks ass. Snyder Rider in the Wild. We actively dislike Snyder. That guy's sleepy. Me too, bro. TS is so ass. I don't know if this guy is talking about Peacemaker or the video, but I agree if he's talking about Peacemaker. Another Womp Womper. Another based guy. The finale was bad, period. Complaining about bird blindness is crazy, though. LOL, that was hilarious. It's subjective. If you like it, I'm happy for you because you're probably a happier person than I am. But it's too dumb. I find dumb stuff funny a lot. Bird blindness is like literally just the worst bit I've ever heard in my entire life.
I'm assuming bird blindness.
Yep.
You hate bird blindness far more than me. I don't love it, but it very much floats to the back. It's just how much.
The reason I hate it.
The first one I mentioned.
Okay, the reason I hate it so much isn't because I hate the bird blindness joke. Like, I think if it was a throwaway joke, I think that would be funny as shit because it's obviously not a real thing and it's such a dumb thing that if it was like a throwaway, like, oh yeah, he has bird blindness, that could be kind of funny. But having bird blindness have an actual, like, have several plot implications is insane. But yes, we were.
Do it much? Oh, buddy, can't appreciate a good joke if it hits you in the face. You're just a racist, buddy. You're just a racist. I don't know what to tell you. You're media illiterate and a racist. You don't like bird blindness? How about you try riding? Huh? How about you do it?
All right. The next one, this is another banger. 3250. These are baseless assumptions. What's your actual evidence? And stop looking at everything as setup and payoff. That's
Okay,
what
so
a
first
show
off,
is.
I'll answer the first question. My evidence is that entire pool scene we just described, but joke. Instead of the other way around, constantly, and wasn't super funny to me, but maybe you found it funny, whatever. The problem is that happens in this show constantly, where there's a stupid plot point or something that doesn't need to be there, all to serve the purpose to set up a joke. That's the basis assumption, is that happens. I didn't think I needed to restate all my evidence because I just did it 30 seconds ago.
Yeah. Also,
Or 30 seconds, a few minutes ago, whatever.
you're not saying in the video that you're like, everything has to be the biggest plot point of all time and I can't have jokes in my plot. It's just saying the jokes shouldn't feel like somebody's turning to the screen and going, huh, he has bird blindness. You think that's funny. It should be something in the scene. Either a character is making a joke that makes sense in the scene, or the characters are talking about something that's so objectively funny.
Right, we've talked about tires. So Shane Gillis brings the guy whose car needed fixed back on the stage. Cal, hands up, stop where you are. Right, that's funny because it happens in the show because it was already set up. Shane brought a gun to work. It's whole B plot.
And that in and of itself isn't a joke. It's just a funny thing that's happening.
Exactly.
Same with like Thor 1.
Again,
like
that's what I'm saying should happen. That's what I'm saying should happen.
Yeah.
My evidence is the whole show, and I've already stated everything. So much stuff in the show happens to set up a joke. You can't tell me none of Eagle Hunter wasn't solely there to make you laugh, because that whole thing was irrelevant. He just dies. That's not a relevant plot point. That was just there to be, huh? He's flying while naked.
So
that's all set up.
Actually, he had a loincloth
the Adebayo
on.
thing. The Adebayo thing is to set up a joke. It's like I mean, I didn't put the evidence because I actually already said the evidence, so the evidence is there. That's why it's not a base assumption.
Yeah.
And I mean, we don't even do the setup thing again.
No, we don't.
Just,
we don't need to go through that again.
It's just a good story. Like I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Next one. This is a banger. 34 exactly. Yeah, there's pacing problem. So what?
So what?
So it's bad.
So fix it.
It's like, yeah, no, the show's bad. Who cares?
I took away from Creature Commandos was that the pacing was actually very well done in that show. The episodes were super efficient. Whereas in this show, there's one episode that literally just involves them setting up a door. I don't understand. So what? So what? The problem is
he's just lost his core.
I got through it because I wanted to make this video.
Yeah.
I got through it because I wanted to make this video.
If
no one else will.
Yeah. If we weren't talking about it on streams, I wouldn't have watched it.
Yeah, no. Exactly. I would have watched episode 1, go, oh, they're just going to ruin kind of something I liked in season 1. Maybe I'll watch episode 2, and if it gets better. It doesn't get better, oh well.
Yeah.
That's this pacing problem. You watched it because you're blinded by James Gunn you think he's some genius, even though he's, like, at best, a decent level movie maker sometimes. So, yeah, I mean, so it has pacing problems, so what? So, I mean, it's just more evidence he was clearly pissed because, you know, in the past he would have said, all right, I'll give you that one during day 1. Day 2, we were on smoke from the start. So,
yeah.
All right.
The next 5 we'll probably get through fairly quickly. 3450, he just said not necessary.
3450, let's see what it is. Let's see what it is. It's not necessary. Let's see. Episode of the show. Not to mention, even, if you want to keep the viewer engaged with all of this happening, you should probably put some action in your season 1. Pretty much every
Bro, your show does not need to be engaging, bro. Your show does not need to be engaging. People don't know.
Viewers.
Michael Jordan.
Don't watch it. You're not necessary. So he's either saying the viewers aren't necessary, viewers continue to want to watch it,
or that action isn't necessary.
I'm saying
either way.
Yes, I agree. Action's not necessary. Action's not always necessary.
Yeah, in a comedy show.
In this kind of show, it is necessary. But even then, I'm saying it's necessary to keep your audience engaged.
Yeah.
Because there's the pacing problem. So what? Well, so what? Because you don't have action, now the viewer's not engaged. There you go. There's your own answer to your question. So he lost whatever. He lost another point that he doesn't have.
Uh,
cool.
35-38. He just said loser.
Ooh, I think this is me talking about the F word. Because another massive problem with the writing in this show is the dialogue. In order to, I guess, try and be funny, basically every other sentence in this script has the word f in it. Now, being someone who has... So, you know what's funny is I knew people were going to be like, someone can't handle the big boy language,
Yeah,
huh?
it's immature.
I literally pointed that out. How a conversation...
If it makes sense, include it. But like,
super emotional. But it's fine. I don't have a problem if there's an F word in a scene. I don't have a problem with that. If the F word's in a movie, right? Am I saying it on stream? No. Do I say it sometimes? Yeah, I do. But point of making it, I don't. And me and Jake are having a normal conversation. If we use an F word, it's because we're trying to
emphasize scale.
Really emphasize something. We're not just saying it because we don't know what to say next, so we just add the F word.
Yeah.
So it doesn't sound like real dialogue when every other sentence has the F word in it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So if you think that makes me a loser, okay, sorry. I like my character's dialogue to sound real because it makes it more compelling. Cool. All right, I'm a loser.
36-57. It's just 12 laughing emojis.
Ooh. One of the music videos that happens in the finale is set to a song titled "F***ing My Heart in the Ass." Yes, that is hilarious. I agree. Thank you for commenting how ridiculous that is.
Yeah, it's dumb.
This is me talking about how James Gunn has a horrible sense of humor. Notably, he skipped right by a certain tweet. Coincidentally, James Gunn might have been with some seventh. Oh, we seem to have skipped a little something here, buddy.
Right over that one.
Dude, I like this. To me, this joke feels super out of place just because I really wanted to put it in so badly, but I still love the joke. And I don't actually think it's too out of place. I think I flow into it decently well. It's just, it always feels clunky when I watch it because I know that I was like, it's almost like a pickup shot. Like, I filmed it in order, but it was like, it's like I filmed this first in my mind because it was the first thing I thought of.
Around every other sentence. I mean, seriously, these conversations.
Like, it's just this little cut. I mean, seriously, it's like, I would probably not have put that in only in the way I put it in if I wasn't setting up the joke.
I feel like it was a seventh grade boy who just discovered what swearing was. Coincidentally, James Gunn might have been with some seventh grade boys when he wrote this script.
Remember, they're just jokes. We're all gonna die soon, and there's no sequel.
And while I know that,
I'm very proud of that joke. Whether you think it's funny or not, I don't care.
I think it's hilarious.
I find it funny. Yeah, but you're biased, so
that's true.
I'm just saying, whether you think it's funny or not, I like the joke. That's why I put it in. But yeah, the point is, James Gunn's writing sucks. The dialogue sucks, and it sounds like it's written by like someone who just learned what the F word was, and they were like, "Oh, this is a naughty word you're not supposed to say. I'm gonna put it in everything." You know, it was like when people would just listen to music that was explicit just because it was explicit.
Yeah.
Like in 4th and 5th grade, it was like, they don't care if it's a good song, but it says the N word in it, so they were like, "I like this music. I'm basically a hood rat."
You're not part of the culture, bro.
Yeah, it's like where I'm just like, this music sucks. You're just listening to it because it's got. I'm not. No, you're just immature.
It's just good, bro.
Yeah, so that's what this show strikes me as. So,
right,
that was laughing emojis. I do agree that the fact that I saw it.
37-37. This one's actually 32 laughing emojis.
You counted them?
Yes, correct. It was 12 and then.
Cena rules.
I do. If he's laughing about this clip, I'm taking credit for that. And in fairness, this makes me want to gas up James Gunn because it is funny in concept.
Yeah.
It's not funny when you're writing a show.
Episode through the first half.
I was so glad. I started watching Shane Gill. I'm rewatching it. This comedy special, and he said that, and I was like, I'm putting that in my video because that's hilarious.
Season.
Tits rule. John Cena rules. It's kind of the two coolest things.
Random orgy scenes.
It might be that cut too. That's a good cut. I'm assuming he's laughing about the Shane Gillis bit. I can't take credit for Shane Gillis being funny, but I'll take some credit for putting it in the right spot.
This one, 38 minutes lie.
Ooh, I'm gonna go on a limb and say I was telling the truth. Exactly 38, dude.
Yeah.
I see freaking Ice Cube down in my. I was scrolling and I just saw Ice Cube because I was talking about War of the Worlds. Oh, we are about to get to his prequel take.
That's the next comment.
Trying too hard to be funny. So far, the deep.
No, this is wrong. This is true.
Seen in every other sentence. Snyder's DCEU projects were superhero shows trying to be edgy, or superhero movies trying to be edgy. Whereas so far,
I should have criticized that more explicitly. because it almost sounds like I was like defending it, kind of. So I
Mhm.
can't understand the Snyder Writer comment, but
Yeah.
I wish I'd criticized it more explicitly so that I could have literally just put like a timestamp on the reply to the Snyder Writer guy, just being like, yeah, except here's me saying it's dog trash.
Yeah.
But I didn't. And in fairness, if you misconstrue that, when I listen back to it, it kind of sounds like I didn't say trying too hard. I meant to say trying way too hard to be edgy.
Yeah.
And these are trying too hard to be funny. So let's.
For the DCU is James
on.
Gunn's superhero project trying too hard to be funny.
Just so, that's not a lie because the stories are all over the place and there's so much comedy built in that there's no place for momentum to build. That's why it feels like it's trying too hard to be funny, whereas they can't just rely. They're not trusting that what they can naturally light is going to have humor in it, so they're like trying way too hard to force humor into everything.
Exactly.
At least that's my personal opinion, I guess. I think it's objectively true that the stories suck, but maybe you don't think it's not trying too hard because it seems effortless to you.
Yeah.
But to me, when a quarter of the jokes, being super generous, a quarter of the jokes are funny and 75% of them aren't, it just feels like trying too hard. So. Alright, what's next?
3823, objectively great movies with the best dialogue and best stories, and you can't prove otherwise.
Yes, except you can.
Yeah, so
A lot of times writing messes with crappy dialogue and very strange.
I knew this prequel thing was gonna piss someone off. Look, at some point you'll reach an age where you'll stop trying to be edgy and cool and be like, I actually think that the prequels are way better than the original trilogy. I love the prequels because I grew up with the prequels. That's what everyone who always defends some of the problems with the prequels says. You know, first off, I grew up with the prequels. That's always the first line of defense. I love the prequels, and I think Revenge of the Sith is very good. It's not quite as good as I feel like it gets credit for. A lot of the dialogue's really clunky, a lot of the acting. There's a Star Wars theory video where he defends Hayden Christensen's acting, and I think it's better to use his headcanon as to why the acting is so bad as truth, and I will take it, and I can convince myself of that, but deep down I'm gonna know, okay, I think the acting just kind of sucks.
yeah.
You can so
He's good in 3.
Reread the exact phrasing. I think he's all right in part. I think he's really good in parts of 3, and he's all right in the rest of 3. In 2, he's pretty bad.
Objectively great movies with the best dialogue and best stories. You can't prove otherwise.
So, I wouldn't have a problem if he didn't put objectively.
That's the thing. It's like, so for me personally, the prequels are like, they're some of my favorite Star Wars movies.
I literally make that point.
But I know they're not the best. Like,
I love the Phantom Menace.
Like,
I love it. I love Liam
exactly.
Neeson. I love Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I love Darth Maul.
Darth Maul's so badass.
But I know everything in him is pretty much useless. We didn't need Kid Anakin. We didn't need the pod racing. We didn't even need Qui-Gon's death. It's so irrelevant. We didn't need Darth Maul. He's pointless.
And that's the difference between like favorite and good, because something can be your favorite movie and it's
midi-chlorians Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah. Like,
Lisa thinks Yusa are stupid.
Something can be your favorite movie, and you can also admit that it's not the best movie you've ever seen. Like, if you walk up to me and you go, Happy Gilmore's my favorite movie, I like it more than Inception, I'll go, okay, cool, that's great. Because sometimes...
First off, you'll go, no. First off, we'll go, ooh, but I guess, you know what? I agree. And then...
But I'll go, but I'll be honest, sometimes I'll sit down and I'll be like, I don't really want to watch, like, a really, like, good, well-built movie. I just want to have a laugh.
The problems with those takes always come in when people say
it's better.
Well, the best movie of all
exactly.
time. The better movie. When it's something is objectively not better. You can objectively look at the merits of a story. I know you believe that there's not one way to tell a story.
Like, do I like watching stay with the same one, Happy Gilmore, more than Citizen Kane? Probably. But which one's better? It's not Happy Gilmore.
What stories?
It's a banger. I love
a better job of a story. What's a better story? I guess is a better way of looking at it.
Exactly.
You know,
that's the point.
And it gets real hard when you're splitting hairs like that. It's like, well, this is a comedy. You could argue that it's the best comedy. Does that make it one of the best movies? And I'm not arguing Happy Gilmore is the best comedy. I want to point that out. I just want to say
that was just something that popped into my head.
That's where I think you can give merits. The point I'm making is you can't say objectively because that's something that's just objectively wrong. The Empire Strikes Back is objectively the best Star Wars movie. I think personally.
Yeah.
Objectively, it's probably the best Star Wars movie. I think A New Hope flows better with it. I think Return of the Jedi is very good. I think there's at least two and like a third of the original trilogy is like flawless, and then I think like 1 1/4 of the prequels is arguably flawed. I wouldn't say one. Maybe one if you combine all the best parts. One
Combined,
movie
yeah.
of the prequels.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if it was just the novelization directly put in the screen, you would have more of an argument there.
Correct.
But I mean, there's people who say Andor is better than the prequels, which I haven't seen Andor, so I don't make that claim yet. But you know, there are people who say that.
Next one, 3852. Not when you're making shit up.
Oh, it's funny. He went to swearing.
He started swearing. I think his mom gave him the pass to swear the second day.
Well, I think he thought that I was genuinely offended by the swearing.
So he started swearing.
So
That might actually be what it was.
That's my best guess. It's just funny because it just makes me think of the line of Reacher's phrase he always said, or no, it's Finley. What Finley says to Reacher in season 1 of Reacher, where he's like, that's like his whole thing about swearing is that it shows unintelligence. I just find it funny.
Yeah.
Just a funny line. All right, whether I agree with it or not, I don't care. It's just funny. I just like that line of swearing shows a lack of character, and even greater so a lack of intelligence or whatever. All right, so this is not when I'm making crap up. A lot of times writing messes with crappy dialogue and very strange story elements, but I still love the movies for what they are. I have fun when I.
It's 3852. 3852.
Oh, 3850. I was like, again, no, the prequels are just messes. I don't know what to tell you. Not when you're making crap. So read it again. Sorry for me.
Not when you're making shit up.
All right, so we'll see what this go. Not fun. I'm allowed to look analytically and point out the dumb Again, I didn't make. So he's saying I'm not allowed to analytically look at this because I made stuff up, which I didn't. I literally just told you what.
Yeah.
So, and you can even say maybe I misunderstood some of the stuff. I literally just told you. I didn't watch the show and go, how do I hate on this? Well, let's just, you know what? I think, what should I make up? How about the characters didn't progress?
Yeah.
No, I watched the show, and my read on the show is that the characters didn't progress. I didn't watch it and go, let's see. What should I lie about? I know. I'll call this skinny woman fat. No, she's just fat. That's just what happened. I didn't say, what happened? How about I literally just describe to you a sequence of events that happened in the show, and then you say wrong?
Yeah.
It's no, everything I said in that video was just my opinion on what I watched in the show and what I interpreted from it. You can try to say, you just completely misinterpreted it. That's just not true.
Yeah. Next comment, 39 exactly.
And by the way, hold on. And the last thing I want to say is, so it says not when you're just making stuff up. He's saying it's not okay that I can not enjoy something.
Yeah.
Because I'm making stuff up. If I was wrong about 100% of the things I said in this video, it's still okay that I didn't like it.
True.
So,
just like it's okay that he liked it, even though it's objectively bad.
And I think you're stupid, and I'm entitled to that opinion, and you're entitled to think I'm stupid. Yeah. I don't care. That's why I said at the end of my video, whether you agreed or not, thanks for watching. All right, what's the next point?
39. It is.
It is. Okay. So just right away. Contrivances in the plot, and I can point out the nightmarish writing within it. The internet has consistently decided a negative opinion on a movie or show that they liked or was heartfelt and fun is a grift or It's not.
No.
Something can be bad. Is that your argument that it can't be bad?
Or even if you don't think it's bad, if you just don't like it. He's saying not only can you not think it's bad, you can't dislike something.
He's not saying you can't think it's bad. He's saying it can't be bad.
Yeah.
Because by saying, he says it is a grift if you point out something's bad. So that means something can't be bad because there would be no way to point something out without it being a grift. Therefore, nothing can be bad.
Yeah.
War of the Worlds. My title is no longer sarcasm, is officially a cinematic masterpiece.
Yeah.
Confirmed.
Yeah.
I don't know what that point of that is. It's not a grift. I don't get paid for this. I do this because I hate myself, apparently.
Pretty much, yeah. That's
Dog,
the main
I
reason.
wish I got paid for watching Peacemaker Season 2. It's not a grift. I do it because I want the stuff to be good.
I think I deserve reparations for watching it. Genuinely.
Yeah, this is the same point with the Ironheart thing. I don't gain anything from saying this show sucks.
Yeah, nobody's paying
I
us.
don't.
It's just bad.
I just think it sucks, and I really want to talk about how it sucks, but it's no one will understand me. No one I hang out with no one I'm with on a consistent basis will really grasp what it is. So I'm just gonna put it on the internet because maybe someone will. And
yeah,
and that's cool. right? So I don't get paid. You know, one day I might get paid, and maybe then I'll start making stuff up. I don't plan on it, right? Like, it's just not a grift. That's what a grift is. I'm negative on it because, like, dude, I don't want to have to deal with people being like, okay, racist. No, the grift is if I just go, Superman's the greatest film ever made. Here's my freaking GoFundMe location so I can talk about how much I love Superman. It's amazing. That's a grift. Here's my book on why Superman's the greatest thing ever. Go buy it. Like, that's what a grift is.
Yeah.
Where I'm just lying for the sake of making money.
Yeah.
All right.
3912, he just said no.
39. All right, so I'm going to go on a limb and say yes. Positive about a show or a movie, but they need to be able to back up these problems and horrific writing. Yes, you need to be able to back up problems in a show if you want to claim that it's a good show.
Yeah.
Ingenuous, whereas positivity always gets a pass. I have no problem if someone's overly positive about a show or a movie, but they need to be able to back up these problems and horrific writing in it than a defense other than I had fun, because that's not a...
You do. Now, that doesn't mean you can't enjoy it even with those flaws, but I'm saying, and maybe I worded this a little poorly, you know, maybe I'm being too nice to this guy with how I'm saying that now, but let's be nice to him and say maybe, yes, I worded it poorly. I'll clarify the point I was making and not attack your comment. If you are just overly positive and say, man, I had so much fun watching Peacemaker, I really enjoyed it, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's cool. Don't go comment 40 times on a video with timestamps trying to disprove everything and then not back up and defend against it. What you're doing is what you can't do. You can't be like, I love this show, I had fun. And then I go, okay, but there's pacing problems. And you go, okay, so what? No, you need to be able to back up why that's all right. And then not back up why something's all right and then immediately contradict yourself. So, yeah. We'll say I worded that one poorly. So, that's not on him.
3940, back to cussing again, doesn't fucking matter. And I would like to point out, he's on all of his contractions, there's no apostrophe. So
I don't have a problem.
He's miscontracting. Well, I'm just pointing out the your thing pissed me off. So now I'm gonna be hypercritical.
Your is a different thing. I don't know.
I'm just saying that made me angry.
If I type contractions, I'm not. He's probably on a phone, and I'm not going. If I'm commenting, I'm not going.
It autocorrects. It autocorrects on the phone. It autocorrects on the phone.
Not if you turn off autocorrect. It doesn't always.
All right.
Sometimes.
I'm still not gonna give him that. Once you mess up either your and your or there and there, I'm on your ass about everything because those are like so easy to get right.
I'm never gonna go after anyone for like not putting something wrong with not putting an apostrophe in a contraction.
Yeah, well,
I'm not gonna do that.
In this case,
if I'm texting and I don't ever, because it does autocorrect. You're right, but if it doesn't autocorrect, I'm not gonna like asterisk. I meant to put an apostrophe.
Yeah.
No, I'm just gonna let it sit because obviously you know what I meant.
That's fair.
The your thing is a whole different thing because that's just you don't know which word to go there. So.
Yeah.
It's a direct follow-up to the family-friendly. The third project.
Oh wait, hold on. Remind me the quote because this very much does matter because he totally doesn't understand what I'm talking about here.
Doesn't fucking matter according to this guy.
The DCU is this show. It's a direct follow-up to the family-friendly Superman movie that was without a doubt marketed towards kids and family with the dog or just Superman in general. He's a family-friendly character. And
yeah, so it actually does matter.
Is a TVMA show absolutely riddled with language and nudity. Right. So that you couldn't even watch it with a kid who was getting into the DCU. And this is supposed to be important for the setup of the next.
So here, I'll clarify this. The point I'm making is that your universe is going to fail if you don't have fans. And you can't have fans if half the audience can't watch the freaking show. And we'll get into, he does not comprehend this point, which we'll get to later, because I know there's some comments that he just can't comprehend the fact that you actually need people to watch something. Dude, Superman lost money. It's like, everything can't just lose money. Something has to make money at some point.
Yeah.
All right, what's the next comment?
Okay, so we have one more, like, that's semi-normal. And then we have 7 in a row that are, like, absolutely insane. This one, it's 40-50. He just said so. And then it's going to get insane.
All right. And use the multiverse as a driving plot point in his show that's the direct follow-up to Superman. We already have multiple versions.
That's fair.
Again,
I can kind of get that.
Again, no. I don't.
If you like multiverse stuff.
I didn't make a point though. That's not the point I made. we have to look at this in the context of the point I made. Let's rewind a bit.
They don't care anymore. They just want a story that makes the trace why that is, whether it was adapted improper. It's objectively true that Marvel started collapsing once they started shoving the multiverse down the throat of fans. Now, we can argue till we're blue in the face why that is, whether it was adapted improperly or used ineffectively or whatever. But the truth is, normie fans are sick of the multiverse. They don't care anymore. They just want a story that makes sense. Instead of avoiding that, with the launch of the DCU, James Gunn decides to dive headfirst in and use the multiverse as a driving plot point in his show that's the direct follow-up to Superman. We already have multiple versions of multiple characters, let alone, if you want to talk about the fact that Peacemaker as a whole uses elements from the DCEU in past movies, but not...
All right, we won't even talk about the DCEU thing because that's a whole other point. So, no, that's just wrong in the context of the point I made. Again, I'm not saying this show can't be good because it uses the multiverse. No, the point I'm making is he's trying to start a freaking universe and fans are sick of the multiverse. Objectively true. That is the truth. Again, and I literally made that point clear, that we can argue till we're blue in the face about why it is that the multiverse failed, but the truth is it failed. People don't want to watch the multiverse. So it's not a good idea for your second project to jump straight in the multiverse.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any other follow-up?
I do not. I'm excited for the next one. 4110. If you want answers to something that has nothing to do with the content in the story, which you shouldn't, yes, you do have to go to alternate media sources. The which you shouldn't part is what's insane to me. Because
No. That's not even what's insane to me. We'll get into what's insane to me. You drop your point on which you shouldn't before we go.
I'm saying, like, so I watched Peacemaker. I want to know how it's connected to Superman. I shouldn't want to know that?
Nope, because hold on.
And,
it's hilarious.
And that's because the crazy part is that's not even saying it should be told in the show. It's saying you shouldn't want to know that at all.
Yes, but he is saying you should go to alternate media sources, which I fully agree with.
I agree.
Fully agree with this comment. He might have earned a point. Let's see what point he was critiquing against.
Gunn said this on Twitter. I shouldn't. And as a whole uses elements from the DCEU in past movies, but not all of them. And you can't question that. Otherwise, you're called media illiterate or saying James Gunn said this on Twitter. I shouldn't have to know what James Gunn says on Threads or Twitter to know what's happening with the timeline of this universe I'm trying to follow.
Oh, he meant alternate media as in social media. He didn't mean books, or a video game, or a character encyclopedia, or another TV show. He meant social media. I don't agree with this point. He loses the point he earned. Are you an idiot? Are you an idiot? This was the one that's hilarious to me. I fully agree. Guess what? If I want more deep backstory on Glup Shido and Star Wars, there's probably 2 books that he's in. So I will go to the alternate media to get more information on Glup Shido. You know what I shouldn't have to do is look at Twitter and see if George Lucas confirmed that Glup Shido actually affected this point, which there's no connection in any alternate media source other than Twitter. Like, are you stupid? Twitter shouldn't be canon to the DCU. So, yes, I should. So, we'll go back to the you shouldn't. I should want to know, is what happened relevant? Because if I'm starting over with a friend who is trying to get into the DCU, should I show them 2016 Suicide Squad? Should I show them the Suicide Squad? Because that would mean that Ben Affleck's Batman's in it. So yes, I should want to know this, and I shouldn't have to find out on Twitter. I should be able to tell. It shouldn't be obvious from... It should be obvious in the show. You got anything you want to add to that? It's like...
No.
Or even, like, crash out on your own, because, like...
It's just so brain dead.
There's a difference between alternate media and social media. It's like...
Yeah, they're not the same thing. Alternate media is other universe media. Like, if you want to learn more about Batman, go read Batman comics, not go look at James Gunn's Twitter to learn more about Batman.
Even to an yeah, exactly. Right, and even with Star Wars is the best example. You got movies, okay? Then you got shows. Then you got video games. Then you got books. And then even if you still want to know more from the books, there's, like, encyclopedias.
There's comics and, yeah.
Well, I mean, books was, like, a broad term for that.
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, there's books with stories, and it's like if you still want to know more, you go down to, like, encyclopedias and stuff. So, those are alternate medias. I shouldn't have to see Kathleen Kennedy confirms Rey learned force healing via Chewbacca while on the planet Horbalorga during the 2 minutes we didn't see after The Last Jedi. I shouldn't have to know from that.
Yeah.
What's the next one?
So the next 3 all happen in like a 20-second span, starting at 41:37. Do you want to go one at a time, or do you want me to bang out all 3 and then watch them? All right. 41:37 to 41:48. The entitlement could not be more obvious.
Okay, this is wording
For
you just
me.
can't handle the wording.
I guess that's fair. That's fine. That's whatever. But that's part of the problem. I'm a 19-year-old dude who loves superheroes. I love sci-fi, action, and fantasy. I should be the target audience. If dude.
Okay. I can see why if you listen to exclusively that clip, it might sound entitled. That's not.
It is also a factual statement.
I'm not saying myself should sit down and be like, and then it says like the opening credit says this is for you,
Yeah.
Caleb specifically.
This is for
you
Caleb.
are going to be the one to watch it.
Yeah.
You are the one I made it for. No. I'm saying I like superheroes and sci-fi and action. So if your superhero show doesn't appeal to me, that's a big problem because that means you're not hitting home with your full core audience.
Yeah.
And again, he's not comprehending that the whole point of this is I'm pointing out the universe is gonna fail if you don't do these basic things.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes. So it doesn't sound entitled if you listen to me go, I should be the one who likes this. Yes, it does. But if you have the 10 seconds before where I say, you can say it's not made for me, that's fine, whatever. The point I'm making here is I'm literally the target audience for what this is made for. It's a superhero show.
Mm-hmm. 41:48. The hero's journey is the Nazi journey.
I didn't even see that comment.
I need the context to
In
understand that.
classical hero journeys, your DCU alienate.
Nope. Okay, there is no content. So the hero's journey is just Nazis. So
I don't.
Star Wars, the original trilogy, Luke Skywalker's a Nazi.
Okay, take the like.
Frodo Baggins is a Nazi. Aragorn's a Nazi.
Take the Hobbit. The Hobbit is like the most hero's journey to ever hero's journey.
Yeah. There and back again. So Bilbo Baggins is a Nazi. Hold on, I gotta think of something really funny. Let me think of one that's hilarious. What's a good example? I'm trying to think of a World War II one so that's funnier.
Captain America.
Yeah, Captain America's a Nazi.
Captain America's a Nazi.
Yeah, Steve
Because
Rogers is a
because
Nazi.
he got superpowers and gained new abilities so that he could fight the tyranny of Nazis.
Okay,
He's a
that's not
Nazi.
hero's journey, technically. I understand what the point you're making, but I'm saying like technically what you described isn't.
I mean, I didn't throw out the hero's journey points, but his journey in that movie is the hero's journey.
Yeah, well, it's slightly altered, but yes, it's.
I mean, it's altered, but it's the same with like saying it's not the hero's journey because like the story arcs are different.
Hold on, literally, the only thing that doesn't apply to it being the hero's journey is he's already actively seeking the hunt for adventure.
Yeah.
As opposed to.
Yeah.
Whereas like what the classical hero's journey says is they're adamantly opposed.
Yeah,
to the hunt
he doesn't have the refusal part, but.
Exactly, he is actively wanting to go, but he is refused.
Yeah.
That's what
exactly.
makes it. That's what's.
It's
That's
an external refusal instead of him refusing.
So Captain America takes the Nazi journey when he goes to fight the Nazis.
That makes sense to me. I don't.
You can make this point with literally every hero's journey. It's like you're stupid.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
41:58. Alienation is good.
Yeah. So alienating half your audience is good. All right. What's the next point?
42:15. Because it's not different from the real world. These things happen every day.
Okay, and again, just to double clarify, he's responding to me saying, you sitting here saying that fans who didn't like Peacemaker are racist. And I say that's a problem because it means that people which is the majority of people, who think Peacemaker sucked, that means they're racist. So you're alienating those people from wanting to come back. And somehow that's a good thing. He just can't comprehend the fact that the point I'm making that, your universe is going to fail if you don't have people who want to watch it.
Yeah.
But, hey, Star Wars is in a great place right now, so.
He's in this.
All right, so what's the next one?
Because it's not different from the real world. These things happen every day.
Alternate world says that this alternate world isn't too much different from our own universe as we like to think it is. Yeah, except for the fact that you were just chased by freaking Nazis, lady, and you literally own a business in the other world.
Jake, how was your weekly black person chase down the suburbs? It happens every day, so I guess I misspoke with weekly. How was your daily hunting of the black people?
I'm sorry, I don't remember the last time I've seen a crowd of white Nazis chasing a black person down the street.
Hold on. He's not wrong. It happens every day. In the South, post-Civil War Reconstruction America where they were lynching people. That's when it happens every day. And it still probably didn't happen every day. It was still probably every other day and every few days. Like,
yeah, that's a crazy thing to say.
Unless he's saying ICE, maybe? Like, ICE raids?
That's a stretch compared to, like, Nazis. That's like...
And, yeah, but, like...
maybe. Maybe.
If he thinks that a classic hero's journey is a Nazi journey...
It's also not like your neighbor chasing you down the street because you're black.
Yeah, well, ICE doesn't like sit down and like, we got an illegal migrant here, and then like all of the neighborhood comes.
They're like,
ah! And then we jump in the pool, and then Judo Master electrocutes us.
Yeah, no, that happened just yesterday outside of my house. It was crazy.
Oh, okay, sorry, he's right. He's full.
No, it actually happens
the
all
only
the time.
The only thing I'm genuinely gonna respond to this with is, get off the internet, dude.
Go outside, touch grass, genuinely.
Like,
for your sake, go breathe some fresh air.
Don't even go outside, touch grass. Go to something social. Like, if you genuinely think that the hero's journey is the Nazi's journey, or you genuinely think that there are daily black person witch hunts going on, spend 2 hours outside. I don't know what to tell you. Like, that's kind of sad if you aren't special needs or anything and you genuinely believe that. It's sad if you are special needs and you've been led to believe that, but like, yeah, I don't know, man. All right, what's next? I know he starts calling me a Nazi here soon.
That's the last one. 4353, best superhero movie, and you can't prove otherwise.
Okay, read. There's a reply to that. Read that.
From @the Final Take. Okay, well, I'm about 75% sure at this point. You're just trolling with everything.
Real quick. Hold on. So the point I'm making is I said, James Gunn, I gave him credit. I said he did a good job of not trying to fan blame with Superman. He said it's for everyone. And then I said, but, I kind of think the story sucks, but whatever. And then I moved on. So he's saying Superman is, read it again. What did he say Superman is?
Best superhero movie, and you can't prove otherwise.
Okay, so go. Yep. Read the reply.
I'd like for your input as to what exactly makes it the greatest superhero movie of all time. While I'd normally be more in the camp of everyone is entitled to their own opinions, I'd love to hear your reasoning as to what makes it the greatest superhero movie of all time. What exactly stacks it up to the greats like Superman 78, Iron Man, or The Dark Knight? Not even trying to hate, just genuinely looking for another perspective on this.
And I am. I genuinely would love a Gun Bros reasoning for what makes Superman so great, because I've seen and personally watched the movie, and I've seen reviews and seen story critiques point out why it is objectively. I can't prove otherwise, except I can, and I don't even have to, because Little Platoon can. And there's 4.5 hours proving otherwise. So, go watch that video, sir, if you believe it's the greatest movie of all time.
Also,
so he obviously replied to that, correct?
I would like to point out that there was no reply to this. Yeah, no reply to that. So challenge
we'll give him
unaccepted.
Time. Maybe he'll reply. We will come back. We'll reconvene next week and decide if he
replied. We're being kind of.
The point I'm making here.
According to him, we're being kind of Nazi-like here. I think being too aggressive with him.
Yes, the point I made with that. The point I'm making with that reply is, first off, I would genuinely like a back and forth dialogue on this. I would love another opinion as to genuinely what makes Superman a great superhero movie. If you want to say it's your favorite, again, that's why I said normally I'm in the camp of you can say it's your favorite. That you like what you like. That's what I'm normally in the camp of. If you really like it, that's cool. It's not the best superhero movie of all time.
Yeah.
Because it's not a good movie.
You can say it's your favorite, but it's not the best.
Yeah. And back to that point, right? If you say Cars 2 is my favorite Cars movie, I might even agree with you. Cars 2 is great fun. Cars 1 is objectively a better story.
Yeah. But Cars 2 has spy thriller action, so it's more fun.
It's fun. Exactly. It's more fun. Sometimes it can be more fun. It depends on what you're going for. But I might agree with you that if you say
it has crazier moments, yeah.
Yeah, if you sit there and say Cars 2 is my favorite Cars movie, okay, that's one thing. If you say Cars 2 is the greatest Cars movie ever made and you can't prove otherwise, you're just stupid.
Yeah.
Because even if it is the greatest Cars movie of all time, I can still try to prove otherwise. You can still prove otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
It's
yeah.
It can be proved. You could probably prove any movie isn't the greatest movie of all time, probably. You could probably do that if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
Like, you could probably tell me why Shawshank isn't the greatest movie of all time, and I don't even know that I believe it's the greatest movie of all time, but it's
not.
one of the greats. It's one of the greats.
It's one of the greatest
You
movies,
know,
but there's like, you can tell me why it's not, and I'll be like,
so
yeah.
It's like, but honestly, there's more substance in me saying Shawshank's the greatest movie of all time, and you can't prove otherwise, than there is in him saying Superman is. There's objectively more flaws than Superman.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
This is our last one. He kind of closed it out with a banger. 44 minutes exactly. He said literally Nazi propaganda.
So I'm literally spewing Nazi propaganda.
Evidently.
He said you're racist if you didn't like whatever episode it was. And I will point out, Peacemaker did not once chart. Okay, so either the fact that Peacemaker was unpopular is Nazi propaganda, or it was before. You need to avoid that until now, where he said you're racist if you didn't like whatever episode it was. And I will point out, Peacemaker did not once. Okay, I'm struggling to see how anything I said there pushed any agendas that are nationalistic or socialist or Nazi-like in any way. Did I call for any death camps or anything, Jake? Did I miss anything there when I said that it's a dumb idea to blame fans because they won't come back and watch your stuff? Is that?
I think that's basically the same thing. I think what you said was a metaphor for Hail Hitler.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. But I understand why you didn't pick that up because you're media illiterate, so you wouldn't have picked that up.
Point there.
Yeah.
Cool. You got one valid criticism. That's genuinely his last comment. He finally made it.
Yeah, he finally went outside, I guess. Good for him.
Think he did.
He did.
But he finally clicked off my video.
Good for him.
Yeah, look, we weren't responding to these because we expected any of the criticisms. You're right. It's been pretty clear to me as these millions of comments came in, none of them are valid in any way. The point I'm making here is to show like just how much this. I mean, it really is Superman that did this, but how much these mediocre to bad projects have like broken the minds of people. Like,
yeah. Corbin is in chat currently.
What is he saying?
He said, "Hey, lock in."
Okay, well, we are locked.
Yeah, we've been locked, full bro.
I like. That's the point I'm making, right? Is that these movies and shows that are horrible have just broken people's brains because they are desperately trying to prove why they're good. Now, it tells you exactly what you need for quality when he says that the 3 best Star Wars movies of all time are the prequels, right?
Yeah.
So
that tells you a lot about the intelligence
Superman's
level.
the greatest superhero movie of all time. So, I mean, do you have...
Yeah,
like I said, again, disappointed that we will never be able to just go after one guy who left 50 comments because it's hilarious. And somehow every single one was wrong. And at least half of them we were able to answer just by letting the video play out another 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny in and of itself.
It really is. It's like...
Do you think he paused and then commented and then, like, heard it and was like, oh...
Say, shit. He got me.
And that's
unlike
comment
45, he's like, shit, he gets me every time. How's he live countering me?
Thought it was a live stream.
He counters me every time.
He thought he was typing in chat. Yeah, I think maybe that's why he got so mad when he came back for day 2.
Bro, I genuinely hope that's what it was. I know it's not.
He just got pissed. I hope he just got so pissed that every point he was making. The funniest was him just completely, like, some of the blatant contradictions.
Yeah.
I can't even remember the one that was
like
where he says the one that this whole season built up to this FU. When he literally earlier said
it's like, bro, it doesn't connect, and that's a good thing.
It's the funniest one. I about fell to the floor.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. By the way, Andy Muschietti says updates on Batman: The Brave and the Bold are coming in a couple of months.
So good.
No, they are.
Good.
I think we might get a Batman cast by the end of the year because of this show, because everything.
Maybe.
I think that's kind of the last thing. K-pop Demon Hunters are set to get a ton of branded toys, so that'll probably make $1 trillion.
Yay!
That'll probably make all of the money.
That'll make $100 trillion.
K-pop Demon Hunters. I don't think there's anything else that we need to talk about. Yeah, so nothing has happened. I scrolled on Twitter and I only arrived back at James Gunn finished his 4th script.
Dude, I thought we were gonna like not have enough to talk about today, and then we went for 3 hours.
Well, I knew we'd have plenty because it's just the sheer amount of comments this guy left. Every single one. It's like we would have had not as much to talk about if a quarter of these comments were even like valid, because we'd have been like, okay, you know what, that's fair.
Like, oh shit, you're right, yeah.
He made the closest he got to a valid point was we were super nice and said, yeah, maybe I was bullying her for being fat, which I still wouldn't even say I would. Now
it wasn't bullying. That was the closest thing to being correct.
I pointed, but like if I had just randomly said it out of the blue, whereas like in the character development section, I'm like, Adebayo, who's fat, doesn't even develop. That would be bullying.
But it was like Adebayo, who just did some acrobatics and a 400-meter dash.
More fluid than Nightwing. It was moving more fluid than Nightwing and faster than the Flash. Is actually fat, in case you were wondering.
Yeah.
And not super powered. That was why I said it was relevant. It wasn't bullying. So we gave him a quarter of a point for that, but we did immediately rip that point away because of all the just violent self-contradiction. Do you think he right, like we already said, he commented and then he rewatched, like he pressed play on the video and like 10 seconds later
I think that genuinely could have happened.
And then he like did get one and he was like, I'm right, and then realized he just never actually realized he just fully contradicted himself. You knew I feel like that might have been what's happening in day 1, and that's why day 2 he comes back with, yeah, it sucks, so what?
Yeah, who cares, bro?
That's why he comes back with, the show's garbage, so what? Stuff can't be bad.
Nobody cares, bro. It can just be bad. Like
Again, we didn't even point that out. He said it's a grift if something's bad. Okay, well, you said there's pacing problems, therefore you're grifting.
Mm-hmm.
Because it can't be bad.
Can't be bad.
That's a negative grift. That is a negative review of something. Yeah, I mean, dude, dude, when that one came through, I was like, oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Anyone who defends Judo Master Adebayo pool scene is just
unintelligent. Yeah.
It's just an idiot. It's like the Tylenol test. You know, it's like, oh, okay. So you're one of those guys.
Okay. Yeah.
This was actually quite enlightening. I'm glad to walk away knowing that projects don't need to make money to be successful.
Mm-hmm. That's good to know.
Captain America's a Nazi. That was the bigger one. That was helpful.
True story.
So, you know what's funny is Captain America, there is comics where he goes to the Nazi, and he actively goes against the hero's journey.
Yeah.
So, even your precious Nazi Cap story is wrong. Would you say that Sam Wilson's a Nazi?
No.
He doesn't go through any journey, I guess, in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, he has no journey. He just
Captain,
you got to do better, Senator.
Whatever trash movie that was that came out this year. That movie came out this year. Everyone forgot about it because
it's garbage.
Gun Bros have managed to be somehow more stupid than the plot of that movie. But yeah, it's like, what a horrible year. It's like, Disney Tron Ares came out. That flopped. Another flop for Disney. It's like number 6 of the year. It's like, what a bad year for movies, dude.
Abysmal.
Like, genuinely awful. What a bad year for movies. There's some good shows. There were some good shows that came out this year. Mobland came out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, at least there's UFC this weekend. So.
That's true.
It's at 2 p.m. though, so that's a little weird. But.
It's unfortunate, but it'll still be a banger of a card because Tom Aspinall's like.
Well, it'll be done in about 20 seconds.
Yeah.
At least there's real life stuff that doesn't have to worry about contrived stories because they aren't scripted.
Because we can go touch grass.
Yeah. You know, F1's getting interesting. So
Colts are doing good.
Yes, and the NFL's good, and that's good. Sports are good. That's the only positive takeaway, is that the only stories that are good are the real life storylines.
Yeah.
That happen because they don't have an idiotic writer writing them. It's just real life events happening, which actually affect the next thing that happens, which apparently you don't need in real life.
Yep. Well, we can bring it to a close for this week.
Yeah.
And then we'll be back next Wednesday.
We will see if there's any response as to what makes Superman a good movie. I would bet not.
I'm leaning towards probably no.
Most of what If there is, I'm gonna bet most
Bro,
of
it's
what he says is
hopeful.
wrong.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bet most of what he says is A, either not a proper defense, or B, just flat out wrong.
Yeah. Most likely.
So yeah, I don't know what we're gonna talk about. We'll find something out. Maybe,
We'll figure it
Jake will have a video out by then, and maybe he'll have his own. If he does reply to me, maybe I'll just link your video and go like, go do exactly what you just did for this guy's video, please. Don't change a thing.
Hey, I'll take the
Hey, bro.
I'll take the comments, bro. Free boost.
Hey, bro, you cooked me with this. You cooked me with these comments. Go over to this video and do the exact same thing.
Free algorithm boost, bro.
Literally every point you made was valid.
You're a genius. I will be changing my ways.
That did just remind me real quick. He accused me of making baseless assumptions with no evidence, which he literally did. Every comment he left was a baseless assumption with no evidence.
That is correct.
He basically assumes I can't prove otherwise. Superman's a good movie, provided no evidence. He basically assumes the prequels are the best trilogy with the best dialogue and best characters and whatever with no evidence. Now, in his defense, his evidence is probably, if you watch the movie, you'll know. To which I say, if you watch the video, you knew that my assumption was baseless. That was probably the big one. He was like, baseless, no evidence, and then he rewinded. He was like,
no, he got me in the past. He didn't get me in the future this time.
All right.
All right.
I don't know what we'll talk about.
Well,
there'll be something. Sure.
We'll see y'all next week, Wednesday, same time. Thank you for watching. See you next week.